With Phil stumbling drunkenly out of his bed, appearing in his head all the things he's wanting to be said. 90 minutes of Phil to Phil, with so much time to kill. He promised chill, but all he does instead is beg and shill. Streams online and straight away begins to whine, but always fine as long as Shaz's benign and doesn't step out of line. His content's immature for all to endure like fresh manure, but I feel sure he ran straight to feeling so insecure. The money earned from yesterday was withdrawn and long gone, as Phil's spending impulse is always had to stay on. If supports are also slow and stays so low and fails to grow, you never know, the show may turn into an easy bingo. One ticked off across the board with charge to what because the squad can't be ignored. Just how much DSP makes us feel so bored to help us fight or sleep and try to keep alert to watch a creep who play bingo, but Phil will bitch and why his sheep are also cheap. While DSP is chasing green, we're seeing green across the screen as Phil's routine predictability rivals are so machine. It's not in burp and leaning ban, it matters not if I should find a child scan to see if powers make him feel less of a man. Takes a drink and starts his like before launching into a big pretending there for bills when truth is there to buy a wrestling JPEG. Talks about his shitty life of college cat and fatty life and all his strife of forgetting that it's unwell and they were rife. With drama he will react but isn't act as a fact as he rehearsed to be exact in how he felt he was attacked. He's really over it and awareness in sight with what to white despite Phil to light that tips were not white. We'll say alright it is okay and now it's time for Phil to play, but first he'll say that tips will help from being off the other day. And with those words we win again, it's never if but always when the game is won. Thanks to that we made it to the very end. Hey guys, King Jad here, and welcome to DSP Bingo for us today, Friday the 8th of March 2024. I hope you're all doing very well and hope you've enjoyed your week so far. Don't know if it sounds obvious or not, but I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. Yesterday I suddenly just wasn't feeling very well at all. It was fucking weird. Today I'm a bit better, but I'm not 100%. And yeah, I was in two minds whether to do the bingo tonight or not. I thought, you know, I'll just do it anyway because I don't want to miss bingo and then also have no bingo tomorrow as well. It'll be 3 days in a row without any bingo whatsoever. So I'm going to persevere, power through, and I was going to be joined by Meester. That was originally the plan anyway, to have Meester join me. But he's running a bit late right now, so he'll join me when he can, basically. Meester will be joining me for some bingo antics, I assume, very soon. But he's running a little bit late right now, but he knows where I am when he wants to join in. Hop on. But there you go. As you can see, Phil is in his chat and he's already got his little message pinned to his audience. Saying, attention, lately the streams have been affected by malicious activities, including bots. Please do not discuss or acknowledge said activity. If it happens, his attention is what they want. Thanks. Phil, you're the one that's going out your way to address it. Every time. Like, you stop your entire stream to address it. Most people, when they watch clips of what you do, don't have the chat available to them. It's only through channels like Raw, Phil and Dark Days Mirror where we get to see the chat available, and I guess to an extent here as well, but you don't see much of the fucking chat because it's all in the bottom corner anyway. But yeah, Phil, you're the one that has brought most attention to it in the past, berating your audience for it. And I don't know why Phil's obsessed with demanding his audience don't bring it up. It seems like a very strange request. Surely he'd want his audience to maybe report it so YouTube can do something about it to protect Phil's channel.
Oh shit, I'm late.
Oh, look who's fucking turned up finally. Hey, Meester. Yeah,
my apologies.
I just started to show that you, pal.
Taking up dinner.
So yeah, and so I'm joined with a
What have I
special
missed?
guest, Meester. I'm just introducing the show basically, that's all. Just introducing the show, saying hello and all that jazz.
Right.
And Phil's trying to clamp down on people talking about bots.
How many bots has he got now?
Not right now, nothing. 151
doesn't.
people watching, so no obvious sign of bots as things currently stand.
Oh well.
But yeah, so before we even begin the bingo,
Dick Lightning is. Oh my god. This is atrocious stuff.
oh jeez. But before we even begin the bingo, I thought I'd talk a little bit about what's his name, Akira Toriyama.
Yes.
He passed away. I want to preface this by saying I didn't really follow Dragon Ball Z. I wasn't very clued up in it. I knew what it was, but I wasn't really clued up in it. So I thought, I was kind of curious also. I mean, I know some people definitely feel more affected by it than others. The fact of the matter is, he was very inspirational to a lot of people for getting into creating things like mangas and everything else. So I went and did a little bit of homework on it myself. And I thought the origin story, I thought how he started was quite fascinating. So he quit his job at the age of 23, and he entered the manga industry by submitting the work to an amateur contest in a weekly shonen magazine, which he randomly picked up in a coffee shop. But the timing apparently didn't work out there. But another shonen magazine accepted submissions for a newcomer award every month. Then so there's a guy called Kazuhiko Toriyama who would become his editor. He enjoyed Toriyama's manga, but it was not eligible to compete because it was a parody of Star Wars, not shit. So, and then he went sent. His first published work was called Wonder Island, and this was the last place in the reader survey. So his first actual creation, his first actual published work, came dead last in a reader survey. So despite all these little setbacks and everything else, he almost quit right then and there. He almost said, you know, I've had enough, you know what I mean? But he decided, you know what, because, you know, he also created Wonder Island 2, and that was a flop as well. His stubbornness would not let him quit, and he continued to draw failed stories for like a year. And then eventually kind of struck some success when he created something called Dr. Slump. This is obviously before Dragon Ball, you know what I mean? So obviously after that, you know what I mean, in the mid-80s, like 1983, Dragon Ball came, and that fucking was crazy fucking successful. Even before then, Dr. Slump as well earned him a whole bunch of awards and accolades and became a household name and everything else as well. But I kind of think it's interesting that the origin story, you know what I mean? He did not get immediate success. He was not immediately a smash hit. You know what I mean? What he went on to do for the industry, you know, was quite incredible. I mean, the amount of people he inspired to get into the industry, you know, and just everything else, you know, is like probably fucking an endless fucking list, it feels like, you know. So I just kind of thought it was interesting, this origin story, and it's a testament to like never really, you know, giving up. Just if you fail at first, you don't just fucking say, okay, well, I tried, and, you know, if you're passionate about something, if you feel that you can fucking definitely get into that industry, whatever, you know what I mean, just because you fail the first time doesn't mean you just fucking stop trying. You get back up, and, you know, if you're
like
good
me
enough,
trying to draw.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to anyone, whether it's anyone just, you know, for doing drawing. But that's the thing, though, it's a kind of life lesson I feel it could apply to anything in life, you know what I mean? Just because, you know, you fail the first time, just that doesn't mean you stop trying. You get back up, you fucking try again. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that kind of. I thought the origin kind of story for him was quite fascinating.
Watch DSP make this 100% about himself. That's been the buzz on Twitter for basically all of today.
Yeah, this is gonna be
watch him make it. Now, bear witness. If he manages to commemorate what's his name again?
Akira Toriyama. Well,
yes, if he manages to commemorate Akira Toriyama without making it about himself, I will stand up and fucking clap. I will give him a standing ovation. It's unlikely, but
he will
bear
make
witness.
it about himself. Yeah, he probably will.
Remind me.
I mean, he's definitely going to talk about it, you know. But yeah, for sure. Also, something I thought was quite funny was Phil Burnell seemed to. So there's a thing going around a bit before.
Yeah, he had a drunk tweet.
Yeah, but I think as though Cerulean seemed to clear it matter. Phil was confused about. He seemed to dispute this image being real, and to be honest, Cerulean does actually claim. Cerulean has evidence that the image was slightly altered. So Phil disputed that this image was fake, and Cerulean has a real image. Look at that. Look at the difference. The slight. So that's the fake image there. Look at the hairline at the top.
The slash.
Yeah.
Underneath the eye as well.
Well, that was real. That was real. The slash. You know, the snort sack or whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, I love how like it was barely minimal change. Like the hairline was slightly higher and there was a bit grayer. The mouth was slightly more slanted. It was the most minimal possible changes and tweaks. And as soon as Phil saw it, it was like fake. I mean, how do you spot it as fake that quickly? Because it looks damn identical.
He blocked me for this.
Phil blocked you. Welcome to the club.
Oh yeah, he blocked me.
We've all been there. Welcome to the party. Oh, Jesus Christ. So, well, yeah, Phil will be definitely talking about Well, you know, all sorts of things. Has he mentioned anything other than the control thing?
DSP will do DSP things.
Nah, he's not really mentioned, but it's a good morning. He loves Final Fantasy 7. And the troll thing, and that's it.
Oh yeah, he loves Final Fantasy 7. He sure does.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the audience do. 65 bucks was the last time we played it. Not
Take
entirely
the
sure.
hint and get to what you call work, Phil.
Yeah. Oh, Phil's starting a stream. I didn't expect that to happen so soon. Usually Phil talks more in his chat before he does that. I guess it means we can prepare our bingo. Meester, you're a special guest today, so give me a random number.
2008.
Alright. Before we can continue, there was a super chat that came in, but it didn't actually set off. I don't know why it happens. So for whatever reason, Stream Elements ignores some notifications. I don't know why. So thank you very much to Punish Lasagna for the super chat, who says Toriyama is the opposite of DSP, universally beloved, hard-working, boundlessly creative, passionate and caring towards other creators, not looking forward to the pig making this about himself. Jesus, yeah. I mean, I read quite a bit. I went and just kind of brushed up on my. As I said, I didn't know much about the guy, so I kind of just done a little bit of, research just on what the guy was like. He was apparently very reclusive. He wasn't very, outgoing. You know what I mean? I think he had like an avatar to represent him when he was like doing interviews as well. You know what I mean? But he was a family man. He had,
Also a VTuber then.
Even before the days of VTuber and whatever, but he has like some sort of kind of avatar of sorts, whatever. But yeah, but he's married. Cool. He had 2 kids. I think he got married right before he became a smash hit. You know what I mean? Like so yeah, right before he managed to kind of strike it, big with Dragon Ball. I think he got married, and then he had like 2 kids. I think it was a boy and a girl. So. And that was like in the mid-80s and 1990 for the kids as well. So, but a very hard-working individual, he was involved in a whole bunch of projects. And, yeah, obviously very inspirational for a lot of artists in the industry today. So yeah, Phil will definitely probably make it about him in some aspect, I imagine. Now, let's get back to you and your bingo number. What number do you wish to have, sorry?
2008, the magic number.
2008. Are you using?
Yes.
Are you using the year you were born?
Exactly.
I had a feeling. Fucking.
The year Phil was laid off too, I believe.
2010 was the year he was laid off.
Oh no! God damn it! I got it wrong.
Well, he may have been fired from one of his jobs at that time. Who knows? But yeah, 2010 was the last time he had a job. So here we go. This is the bingo card we have for today's bingo funning games. We need Phil to have some dead air, him saying variety, absolutely, him doing hand grass and him saying
I feel
engagement.
so old. God, are all the DSP detractors like 10 times older than me or something? What's the big deal here?
Yeah, you're young, yeah, that is what it is. The second row is Phil saying fuck, basically him clearing his throat, him saying you guys and him standing up. Third row is Phil saying friends, content. The funny thing is, you see, and him using hateful slurs. The fourth row is Phil giving a musical story, him making an annoying T sound, him saying a date, nonsense, and his chair creaking. And the fifth and final row is Phil saying schedule, him burping, him saying nobody or no one, excited, and finally Serpent style. So there we go, that's the bingo card for today's game, as picked by our special guest today, Meester. And yeah, there's one thing that Meester wanted to make perfectly clear as well. Meester wanted something to be made sure everyone was aware of this. Just because his avatar is bald does not mean Meester is bald. He wanted everyone to make sure they understood that, No,
I have a lush growth of hair.
Yeah, so
never insinuate that I'm bald.
The avatar is not representative of how follically challenged Meester is in the head department. So there we go. So yeah, I think that's of course obviously the aim of the game. 25 out of 25 in the card, we're trying to get a full house. If we do that, the current bingo prize fund will go up by $25, and at the end of the month, whatever the prize fund will be what somebody could potentially win when we get to the end of the month. But the only way you get a chance to win that is if you've got a comment in the community post, which is linked to the description of this live stream. If you've not left a comment yet, do it now, or do it before the end of the fucking month, when we have a big marbles race to determine who will win the big prize fund. Hopefully the prize fund will grow, currently at $25. The more bingos we win for the month of March, the bigger that prize fund will be. There's a variety of ways for us to get free spaces to try and help us on our way to get a full house. For example, if Phil snorts 25 times or burps 10 times before we start recording for gameplay for YouTube, that will give us all a free space. And if we get 100 likes on his bingo stream as well, before we finish playing bingo, Not only is that a free space as well, but you guys also get to enjoy the Bubbles animation made by supremely talented Pixar Animations to celebrate 100 likes. So I think that's covered all the basics and everything else.
Yeah, that's the bingo segment out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be done for people that are new. You know what I mean? Some people might not be, maybe some people's first time, you know, so now they know. So there we go. Before we begin, of course, I'm going to press a Scottish random soundboard button to send us into battle.
I mean, it's terrible. All these hands were all over the place. You're like a sweaty octopus trying to unhook a bra.
Good old Malcolm Tucker from the thick of it. There we go. You got anything you want to say before we begin the bingo?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
You have absolutely nothing, okay. In that regard, good luck everybody. Here's let's just fast forward. Apart from a short intro today from Phil, just to introduce. Yeah, he has a short intro for me, okay.
A baby wavy intro.
Yeah, so yeah.
Pathetic shit that he puts up there.
Good luck everybody, here we fucking go.
Hello everyone, it's the start of a new streaming week. Exciting games.
Whoa. Normal speed? No, I don't think so. Normal speed.
Yeah, full throttle. 1.25.
Yeah, let's just rewind that and go back. Yeah, just there we go. Get normal speed. Nobody has the patience for that. 1.25 speed. Here we go.
Hello everyone, it's the start of a new streaming week. Exciting games continuing. Today we've got a bunch of game news to talk about, but at the same time, sadly, today we do have to say goodbye to one of the greatest pop culture icons of all time, Akira Toriyama. And so, we will talk about his legacy and his impact on the world, and particularly myself when I was growing up. All this and more.
Well, there's confirmation.
Yeah, particularly me. Right from the start. God damn it, I had hope.
There is confirmation he's going to make about himself in some aspect, in some capacity. We might as well just tick off years ago story now while we're at it. He's going to talk about how it impacted him years ago, so we might as well just tick it off goddamn now. So,
Dickhead.
Jesus, man. I mean, yeah, it is what it is.
On today's episode of the Level 1 Podcast.
And I'll just mute him while we have his crappy intro playing. At least we have 3 things ticked off on the board so far. That's one positive so far. We get 3 things ticked off immediately.
I told you the number was magic.
I mean, early days yet. Don't get so, confident. But yeah, good luck everybody. Here we fucking go.
I almost misclicked there. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Level 1 Podcast. Today is Friday, the 8th of March, 2024. Of course, I'm DSP, and I welcome you here to the show live. If you're here watching on demand as well, welcome, welcome. Time for the start of a brand new streaming week, correct? And lots of stuff going on this week. Officially this week, we begin with the full-time alternation between either Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or Baldur's Gate 3 on the day streams, while on the night streams, we're going to fully alternate between Tekken 8 and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Of course, we have a React day in the middle, and so all that fun stuff continues until new releases start hitting next week. There actually is a new multiplayer game that I'm very interested in. And so obviously I'm excited to continue on in everything that we're doing. Right now, with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the game is outstanding. In my opinion, first of all, I'm only, like 14 hours in? And I think the game is, like, way better than Final Fantasy VII Remake was. Like, just to be honest, with the open worlds and the optional content and the way that they designed it and laid it out, man, do I feel like
you played it 4 years
they just
ago,
hit it on every single level for what you would want in a game like this, more so than Remake, where you were more confined and linear in Midgar. Now, being able to do all this fun open world stuff is just stellar. It's exactly what you would want from a modern remake of a classic RPG. Graphics are great. Combat is actually getting better the further in we get. I'm hard pressed to find some complaints, besides the fact that sometimes it's a little clunky in the combat to do something quickly. You know, if you're in your flow of doing combos and switching between characters and using your abilities, sometimes, oh man, I need to heal. I gotta go through like 3 menus to get to the spells and select the correct spell and do all that. And it's like, it is a little weird because it's technically action combat, but there's also turn-based elements in it with the menu system. But outside of that little nitpick, no exaggeration, I definitely feel like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is probably the first major game as a Game of the Year contender for this year. Now, we're very early into the year. It's only early March, and not a ton of ginormous games have come out yet. But we'll see by the end of the year who can compete with this one. This is the one to beat, for sure. Baldur's Gate 3 is heading into endgame stuff. We're now getting resolutions to a lot of interesting plot lines that have been going on over the course of the game.
So, my prediction is that when Baldur's Gate 3 ends, he is going to miss that more than he realises. Because there is no other game he's playing right now which is pulling in that consistent amount of support for him. Baldur's Gate 3 is the one big cash cow which is fucking guaranteed of $100 every single time he plays it, at a minimum. Final Fantasy can barely even let the hat go. Tekken struggles to fucking do it as well. Sometimes it did it one night, but other nights it won't do it. Well, Phil's last 2 Tekken streams have done well for him. $161, $124, but there were a couple of whales involved there. Before then, it has struggled, you know. And it only plays that twice a week as well, remember. Like a Dragon, $7. Phil's most recent stream only got him $7. So, despite how good the day stream was, the night stream, 7 buckaroos. But so yeah, when Baldur's Gate 3 goes, I think he is going to really miss having that guaranteed.
Speaking of which, how far has he gotten Baldur's Gate 3? I don't even know.
He's almost finished it.
Oh.
Yeah, and so he's getting to the end game content. Yeah, it's almost done.
So the problem is that whoever it is who's whaling this game in particular, because I feel confident like it's maybe 1 or 2 people who really wanted it that are just kind of keeping him afloat in general. They've got to pay for something else. It's not like they're just going to disappear once Baldur's Gate 3 ends, but at the same time it would be interesting if they did and Phil just was left without anything to make him any money.
It depends what replaces Baldur's Gate 3 and whether the fans feel that is worth wailing out on. The people wanted to see him play Baldur's Gate 3 because it was Game of the Year and Phil was not going to play it unless he got his handheld, and he also had an incentive to play it, i.e. money. So the audience kind of made sure to tick both boxes. They've held his hand the entire way, plus it gave him money guaranteed every single time. There's no other games out there that Phil's lining up to play which may attract that sort of interest. But who knows?
When Baldur's Gate 3 ends, will 1 Minute Man shut up? I hope so.
No. He's been tolerable lately.
And I'm really enjoying that. And we're having some of the optional, you know, kind of end game fights. Like last time we fought what was his name? Sarvok or something like that. And people are saying he's like one of the top 3 hardest fights in the game. And, you know, it's really fun what we're doing now together at the end of the game after all this time, right? And then, of course, Tekken 8, I've hit the purple ranks in ranked play with Yoshimitsu, which means every fight now is serious business, you know, tough fights against people who know what they're doing. I continue on with that. And of course, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is very good now too, because we have returned back to Yokohama with a totally new party, new jobs and abilities. Everything is going swimmingly in that playthrough as well. So basically, all the games I'm playing right now are going really well. The only bummer is there's no end in sight for any of the games. You know what I mean? Like, they're all so long. I am, at this point, like 110 hours into Baldur's Gate, and people are like, yeah, probably another 10 to 15 streams to beat it. It's like, wait, what? Another 30 to 40 hours? Yeah.
Really? I don't think it'd be that many. But
someone in your chat said he should have beat it 30 to 40 hours ago. Like a couple of streams ago then.
So it might depend, and we'll keep in mind Phil is doing some optional content as well. And he's basically got other people playing the game for him.
Either he's just deplorably shitty at the game and can't progress very well, or alternatively, he's deliberately stalling just because he knows that this one's making him $100 and he kind of needs it.
I feel at this point in time it's getting that way, yeah. It's definitely getting that way at this point in time, yeah, for sure.
And then with this game, apparently Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is incredibly long. Like, people are saying it might actually be upwards of 100 hours if you do the side content. Yeah, I know. It's like, wait, what? Another 100-hour game? Obviously, Like a Dragon is incredibly lengthy. We're in Chapter 8, and the game has 12 chapters, but the later chapters are the longest ones. And of course, Tekken never ends just as long as I want to play it. So we're in a situation where it's like, there's no end in sight for the games I'm playing. And there's nothing I can really do about that. And I understand, because it's been a month to a month and a half where we're kind of juggling similar games or the same games.
Is the problem?
And because of that, some people have tuned out. We're bored. We want something new. We want something more action-based. Well, stuff is coming. Star Wars Battlefront Collection is next week. I'm very interested in that to play it and see how it turns out in a modern era. And then a week after that, we've got Rise of the Ronin, which, again, I'm very interested in. I think it's going to be a great game and something very different from what we're doing right now.
My big question is what's going to get dropped to play those games? Because he's not
going to drop anything.
Well, he's not close to finishing, though. What's going to take a backseat, though, while he plays these new games?
I don't know who these people are who are tuning in or out, mainly because I don't follow DSP directly anymore. Is it true, or is he just making shit up to excuse his failure?
What do you mean making shit up? About what?
Like who's tuning out? I don't understand.
These are just things that Phil says as a copium, because some streams don't get the views or the on-demand views or the support, he then cites that as a reason why his audience are somehow saying, oh, we're not interested anymore. You know, it's a copium thing.
He puts words into their mouths.
Oh yeah, definitely. Sometimes he makes people up just to fucking have somebody to point to and say this person said this.
Yeah.
It's quite
those
amusing,
emails that he gets sent after cancelling something like a documentary.
Pretty much, yeah.
You dodged the bullet, Phil. Oh,
The
Phil.
RPG overload and RPG burnout is exactly what has happened. There's just too many of them in too short a period of time, and there's no way for me to juggle them all with the kind of streamer I am. I don't just play 1 or 2 games at a time, and you can't really get through these games when they're this long, you know? But I'm still enjoying myself, all right? So thank you to everyone around here for all the streams today. Final Fantasy VII continuing, I'm so excited for. We're in a great part of the game right now, and good stuff going on, okay? Now, today we have a variety of stuff to talk about, all right? I'm going to update the schedule, but not really. It's basically the schedule you expect for this week, nothing new. Few game news stories to talk about today. One of them is shockingly good news, which is great. But you know, I feel like we should just start the show with the big elephant in the room, the thing that literally everyone across the world is talking about today. Ladies and gentlemen, is very sad news.
Here we go.
We have lost one of the most iconic pop culture artists and creators of our time. The man behind the character designs, artwork, and a lot of other input into series such as the original Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, which many people don't even realize it's the same show. It just, there's a time lapse between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, but it's literally the same show. It's now the same manga turned into an anime. Dragon Quest, the entire video game series. Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger,
Sandland.
obviously.
And that's just to name a few of the projects that this man has been directly involved in creating. I'm talking about Akira Toriyama has passed away at the age of 68. Unexpectedly. People did not know that Mr. Toriyama was actually ill. Apparently he was kind of keeping it a secret, and he was actively involved in developing many projects. And now that he's gone, a lot of people don't know what's going to happen with those projects because he was spearheading them. This is incredibly sad, but what I'd like to do, rather than focusing on the loss, you know, I want to celebrate the life and the work, because just to give you my perspective, which is the best thing I can do to honor someone like this, right? When I was growing up in the 1980s and 90s, okay, Japanese culture did not have much effect on the United States at the time. I think the biggest thing was that song, I Think I'm Turning Japanese. Remember that song? So it was kind of like we were aware of Japanese culture here, but it certainly didn't have any kind of a heavy influence on anything here. And then all of a sudden, on TV, you started seeing what was definitely syndicated shows.
Oh, for God's sake. Phil Burt, so that's our first bingo of the game.
Burger.
5 in a row. That's concerning.
Good stuff indeed. Yeah, naturally Phil was going to make it all about himself.
It's not quite there yet. He's just talking about what was going on in his time, not specifically his personal experience.
He's winding up, though. He's getting there.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. He might get his first standing ovation from someone.
Oh God, here we go. Brace yourselves.
Such as the original Dragon Ball, okay, which was on TV before Dragon Ball Z. A lot of people just didn't know what it was. It had actually been so popular in Japan that they had syndicated it and brought it over to the United States and started playing it as a very early morning cartoon around the late 80s and early 1990s. And I remember watching this show and thinking, what the hell am I watching? The art style is so different from what we would see as an American cartoon that it blows your mind. You're like, what am I? It's so odd. The characters have this weird, almost like childlike design to them. Why are all of their eyes so gigantic? Right? That was the first time I saw a cartoon where everyone had the big oversized anime eyes. The other funny part about it was that definitely with the censorship, because on American TV they couldn't show the actual raw show. In the early episodes of Dragon Ball, the TV show, or the anime I should say, there's nudity. Goku as a kid full on has nudity, full frontal nudity as a child. Now today we're all like, oh, but in Japan they didn't think anything of it. It was a joke. It was meant to be funny. Like Goku's growing up in the wilderness, so he doesn't understand that you need to wear clothes. He doesn't even understand why. He's like, why? You could just be nude. There's no big deal. All animals are nude, so why is it a big deal for me? But that's part of the joke. And I remember they censored it out. Like they would show Goku with a maple leaf over his junk. And it totally wasn't in the shot. You could tell it was superimposed on it. And I was like, what the hell?
Detailed
so as a kid, imagine you're watching TV shows like G.I. Joe, right? Thundercats, which has a heavy anime influence, by the way. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? And then all of a sudden you turn on, his Dragon Ball is on TV, and you're like, what is this show? It is so wild and different. Now, Dragon Ball is very slapstick, okay? It is. A lot of slapstick comedy and stuff like that. However, really, for me, the big thing that made anime so popular in the United States was Dragon Ball Z. Because up to then, like, you knew it on the fringes. You knew Dragon Ball existed. You knew Sailor Moon was a thing, right? I remember Sailor Moon. And also, there's one of all the things to put on Americanized TV, Ronin Warriors was syndicated and put on American TV in the mornings. I don't know why, but it was one of the early animes that we were able to watch here. But then when Dragon Ball Z hit, it was like a ginormous explosion of popularity. Like, all right, let me put it in perspective. Like, every generation seems to have something in pop culture that becomes the thing for you, right? For some generations, that's the Lord of the Rings trilogy, right? And I don't just mean the movies, I mean the books. Like, that's in pop culture, oh my God, Lord of the Rings, amazing fantasy. But for some people, Dragon Ball Z is actually that thing. That, like, wow, it was a cultural phenomenon, right? These characters were iconic. The plot lines, the themes of heroism and never giving up and always finding a way to overcome and succeed over insurmountable odds. These were all things that became synonymous in worldwide culture, not just Japanese, but worldwide culture. And I remember when Dragon Ball Z started airing on TV, right? Like, everything changed. People started talking about the show all over the place, in school, in arcades. It was the thing people talked about. And it was weird because at the time, you couldn't actually get it for home use. You had to watch it on TV, and then they started selling, like, the videotapes of it. I had a friend who was into competitive Street Fighter, okay? And one day we all went over his house. He had a bookcase full of VHS tapes that were all recorded off of. We're like, what is that? Oh, that's my Dragon Ball Z collection. That's the whole show. And on American TV, they were still in the Frieza saga. So we were like, wait, what? How do you have the whole show? Oh, because it's Japanese, and this is the actual Japanese cut. I got bootlegs. I actually ordered them and had them mailed, and I have the whole thing. They're all bootleg, like, recordings of the Japanese show with subtitles, but I own the whole series. So this guy owned it. He probably spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to get this before you could get it on a real tape that you could buy at a store. But it's just absolutely wild, the popularity that Dragon Ball Z had. And really, again, you can argue, oh yeah, but Sailor Moon was out already, and this was out, and that was out. Like, someone was saying, oh, Robotech in the 80s. No. I get what you're saying. That was like, here's a wall, and I take a pick, and I start to hammer a little hole into the wall. Dragon Ball was, we took a 3 million pound drill and just plowed through the fucking wall, and the floodgates opened, right? Like, this is when Japanese culture, particularly anime, started to explode in popularity in the United States.
Okay.
It was Dragon Ball Z that did it, okay?
Is he making you angry? He's making a lot of people angry right now. It's not just yourself. I'm getting many requests to play certain soundboard things.
I've told you in the chat what I wanted you to do, but I don't think you picked up on that.
Hold on. First of all, let me just play a couple of things. Somebody wanted me to play this.
Make the bad man stop.
Also this.
Phil, you make me angry, Phil.
And also this.
Boss.
Yeah. So that's the three things.
What about the sound clip I sent, speaking of which?
And Damien hasn't said, he said million. He said 3 million, but million's not on the board. So,
Just
yeah.
3 more million.
No. What did you suggest? What did you say?
Yeah, I suggested show the things I sent you and then play the sound clip I sent you the other day, because why the hell not?
You know, technically you could play it and we'd probably hear it.
No, I can't.
No, I mean, it was in our chat, wasn't it? So, I don't know if that'll work. But yeah, so you talk about the things you just sent me, like,
Yes.
the strange faces.
The strange faces, indeed.
For lack of a better term.
Yes, the strange faces.
Hold on, I'm just sharing them now. I'm getting up on the screen right now. So you shared these two fucking things.
Yeah, this one's from his Instagram. I love this one.
Which one? Is it the double-ass red eye?
This one
or
of him looking
pink eyes?
particularly special.
Is it retarded pink eyes or is it dumbass red eyes? Which one?
Retarded pink eyes.
That's one
Hang
now.
it in the Louvre. Yes.
Jesus Christ, and you want me to play this as well?
Fuck you in the ass.
You know, it hasn't really got anything to do with anything right now. It's just rich being rich. Bloody hell. But, Jesus, man. Phil's been very salty and toxic. Some people are wanting otters. I do have bad news for you. The pool is being filled up right now. They're cleaning the pool. There are no otters available right now.
Oh, damn it, no.
Right, hopefully near the end of bingo, the pool will be filled back up, you know, and the otters will be back. But we can't have otters right now because it is being cleaned currently. They have finished cleaning. Obviously, they're at the last stage now. The last stage is filling it back up with water, and then the otters are free to do their thing. So, but yeah, no otters available right now. Everyone's like, go to the other fucking feed den. Whereas fucking, you mean Monterey Bay? We have an alternative fucking otter feeds. There we go. But you can barely see them. This is why I prefer Vancouver, because you can barely see these ones here. You know, the camera's so much further away. But there you go, we have an alternative auto feed anyway, so there we go. Anyway, let's get back to the bingo and get back to Phil making us about himself, inevitably.
And the funny part was, games like Dragon Quest had already been popular and had prominence, but no one really knew that that was Akira Toriyama until Dragon Ball Z got huge, and then all of a sudden people were like, wait a minute, that looks the same, because it's the same guy. He made the same character design, same art style, that's him. They're like, wait a minute, you're playing Chrono Trigger, what the hell, why does the art look so good in this game? It's amazing, because it's Akira Toriyama. The guy's a creative genius, his art style is so unique, so recognizable, right? Whenever you would see his art, you'd be like, holy crap, I recognize that style, you know? And so, the funny thing is, like, people, I feel, don't even know. A lot of people might have done something that was Toriyama inspired, or he was directly had his hand in, and you don't even realize it, you know? As I was thinking about all the times in my life, all the great stuff that I've done that was Akira Toriyama inspired. So you got original Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z. Of course, the later spin-offs he didn't have a hand in, but they're all from his own creations, right? Like his, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, and all of that. The entire Dragon Quest series, which started in the United States, it was called Dragon Warrior, and they tried to more like almost westernize it, and the art was changed and everything on the box, which is weird. Like, you have Toriyama art, and you change the art on the box to make it look like it's not Japanese, which is a really odd choice, but that's what they did. But then after a few years of having, like, Dragon Warrior 1, 2, and 3, they actually decided to then start calling them Dragon Quest, which is really what it was called in Japan. And then you started to realize, wait, okay, this is the same guy. That's why the art in the game looks like Dragon Ball, because it's the same guy, right? And then, definitely, I would say Chrono Trigger, for me, is one of my favorite games of all time. And the art style is just so inspiring in that game, to see characters that look like Toriyama characters, you know, fighting in an RPG setting like that. So awesome. Was it also Secret of Mana? Was also inspired by? I don't want to say that and be wrong, but I feel like Secret of Mana also inspired by the Toriyama character designs, right? I think either he directly had a hand in it or whatever. I think maybe originally, but I swear those characters, if they're not him, they look like they're influenced by him. You know what I'm saying? It's that unique Square Enix design. But then even years later, you know, after that, he did other mangas. Like, there's a game coming out this year called Sandland. And you're like, what is Sandland? That's a Akira Toriyama manga. You may not realize it, and then you see the promo for Sandland, you're like, why does it look like Dragon Ball? Why does it look like Dragon Quest? Because it's him. It's his work. You just don't remember it. You know, you're like, what is that? One that, it's like a forgotten gem for me that most people don't talk about today is Blue Dragon. Anyone remember that game? That was a game during the time of Mr. Walker Studios, where Toriyama, Nobuo Uematsu, and other former, like, Square Enix Final Fantasy game devs teamed up to make a few games, and Blue Dragon was one of them, and everything in that game is Toriyama inspired. Every character is drawn by him and created by him, all of it.
Boring.
And it's great. I love that game. Like, I played it when it was new.
Well,
then I played it years later as a
celebrating the guy's
my early days of direct
life,
capture, I believe, like 2014, 2015, I played it. So, you know, that's an amazing game. I would love to go back and play it again someday. I don't want to eat. Because it's such a great game. Great music, too. Great unique soundtrack there. Anyway, the point I'm making here is, it's rare, all right, in our time,
there's a van,
to say that someone is so influential to so many people. We would probably be very hard pressed today to sit down and say, I have never been influenced by Akira Toriyama. It's a very rare statement to make. You've probably watched, played, or been involved with something that was Toriyama inspired or created over the course of your life. Some of us way more than others. Like I said, Dragon Ball Z was humongous in the 90s. I watched the show every time religiously when a new episode aired on TV. I was totally into the lore of it, and my friends were so into it. And over the years,
So sorry, Phil. Your friends were also fucking into it. I got one thing to say about that.
What friends?
You and your friends.
Jesus Christ, Phil. Who gives a fuck?
Now. Again, this is not about Akira Toriyama's life at all. It's about the media Phil consumed that was from him.
He thinks
basically it's the same as usual. I played this game in the 90s, and in the 80s I was
it was a big part of Phil's life, and he's equating that to everyone's life because the world revolves around Phil.
God, like little, what do I call it? When you went over right earlier in the stream, you actually talked about him less so about Dragon Ball and shit like that. Whereas Phil, that's all he's talked about. It's the media that I consume, dude.
Yeah, I mean, well, naturally, that's what Phil's only going to care about. He's not going to care about the fucking person, is he? He's only going to care about what they created for him to enjoy. Never mind the fact they had 2 fucking kids or whatever. Never mind the fact he was happily married since like 1982 or whatever. Never mind the fact he was quite reclusive. Never mind the fact that he failed several times before he made it fucking big. No, Phil only cares about, oh, the guy made Dragon Ball. I watched Dragon Ball so much. I loved that show. In that space.
I was influenced by it. How the fuck were you influenced by it?
Aye. And I mean, by the way, I'm
influenced by Akira Toriyama is one thing.
I was not influenced. I mean, I know fuck all about the guy, but I'm not fucking pretending to like Phil is. Phil's fucking pretending he's like, oh, this is a massive hole in my fucking...
He's just talking about his precious media from the 90s. That's all he cares about.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, from learning more about the guy, I can definitely respect what he's done for the industry and everything else, and the amount of people he's inspired, you know what I mean? But it's not something I took a lot of notice of myself personally, but that's just me, because I didn't consume that media when I was growing up. But millions of people did around the world. You know, millions of people did around the world, and millions of people were inspired by him, and so many people were inspired to the extent that they got involved in the industry themselves and made their own things and everything else. Bjorn's asking, did I stole DSP Bingo from Toriyama, didn't I? I've been busted. Shit, the gig's up.
Played so many video games that were Toriyama inspired as well as a YouTuber, right? And it's amazing the reach he had and how many people's lives he touched just with his creativity and his talent, right? I mean, another thing, let's be honest, the fact that the guy's not problematic, right? It's not like, oh, he's one of those guys where you love his work but everyone hates him personally.
Oh,
no,
really,
the guy was
Phil?
well loved. He was actively involved in so many different projects because he's such an awesome creative mind. And someone like that, that's someone who's not replaceable. You know what I mean? Like, no one's gonna step in and be like, I'm Toriyama. No, he is.
He said no one. There we go.
Burger.
5 in a row. That's concerning.
Very strong card. Yeah, I mean, you don't mail so far with a card. 2 bingos so far.
I told you.
But it's not there yet. We're not there yet.
The snorts are only gonna go up.
Oh yeah, but we're definitely hitting the snort. Free space, that's what I'm sure.
He's one of a kind. And it's amazing what he's done. And his legacy will live on. Sad that we lost him. But at the same time, man, the awesome influence he's had on humanity, right? As a whole, the creative wonder, the sense of adventure in everything that he ever created is incredibly unique. And, you know, for me, growing up, seeing his influence around for me, he was the reason why Japanese culture and anime crossed over to the West in the way that it did. If it wasn't for Toriyama, you never would have seen anime explode in popularity and have.
I mean, someone, I don't know who it was in the chat, I think it might have been Banana Jones.
He invented the Let's Play.
But,
Yeah, I'd probably Banana Jones.
Yeah, I think they said in the 60s. I can't mind who it was, but somebody said in the 60s they saw a Japanese anime show, you know, on American TV when they were growing up in the 60s, the 1960s, and they turned on a TV when they were growing up. They saw some kind of random Japanese syndicated show, Astro Boy. Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna scream for a screenshot, but he looks insanely regarded here.
Yeah, no, no. But yeah, Banana Jones confirming Astro Boy was distributed by NBC in the US in 1963. So there we go. I mean, it's one of those things where, especially with the way the world went. Hold on, Cake is trying to say, Phil said humidity instead of humanity. But let's go back, like, I don't know, how long do we go back? I'll go back a minute, okay, and we'll see if we can pick up on it.
Lore of it, and my friends were so into it, and over the years I've played so many video games that were Toriyama inspired as well as a YouTuber, right? And it's amazing the reach he had and how many people's lives he touched just with his creativity and his talent, right? I mean, another thing, let's be honest, the fact that the guy's not problematic, right? It's not like, oh, he's one of those guys where you love his work but everyone hates him personally. No, the guy was well loved. He was actively involved in so many different projects because he's such an awesome creative mind. And someone like that, that's someone who's not replaceable. You know what I mean? Like, no one's gonna step in and be like, I'm Toriyama. No, he is one of a kind. And it's amazing what he's done, and his legacy will live on. Sad that we lost him, but at the same time, man, the awesome influence he's had on humanity, right? As a whole, the creative.
No, humanity. He does say humanity.
He's an American, come on.
He didn't say humanity. He said humanity. So there we go. I mean, sadly, he didn't butcher that word. The massive influence he's had in the fucking humidity. That guy fucking broke all sorts of fucking temperature records.
Creative wonder, the sense of adventure in everything that he ever created is incredibly unique. And, You know, for me, growing up, seeing his influence around, for me, he was the reason why Japanese culture and anime crossed over to the West in the way that it did. If it wasn't for Toriyama, you never would have seen anime explode in popularity and have this kind of culture crossover like we've had in the last 20 to 30 years.
To me, I've got a different take on that, because to me, the one big thing that kind of exploded and helped the Western audience consume this kind of style of,
it was Pokemon.
Yeah, I was gonna say Pokemon. Pokemon was the one big fucking thing that really became like a, that was massively popular.
I was way too late, but I loved it as a kid, in case you can't tell.
Yeah.
By the things I draw.
So many kids fucking loved that growing up, you know what I mean? In the 90s, where, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh was built to an extent, Yu-Gi-Oh as well was a big thing as well, but to me, I just remember Pokemon being the big, massive thing. Like, there was nothing bigger than that when I was, you're talking about, you know, early 90s, mid-90s. You know, that's the thing that really kind of blew up in popularity, and that's like, it wasn't just some sort of niche thing. Like, every kid seemed to be fucking watching Pokemon on TV. You know, it just seemed crazy to me. I don't know, but who knows?
Plus my mom and then me.
Keelan was saying Sailor Moon had a larger impact on anime in the 90s. It was much more popular and was only overshadowed by Pokemon in the late 90s. There you go.
Oh well.
And Prophets had his own take on it, saying false, it was hentai. Thank you, Prophets.
You son of a bitch.
It was kind of there before, but it was the Dragon Ball stuff that, boom, broke the walls down, right? So to Mr. Toriyama, thank you for everything. Rest in peace. And your legacy will live on. There you go. That's the best I can do. Anyway. So, all right.
He's finished with his, you know, little obituary.
Let me think. No. I'm not fucking doing it.
You not happy with his obituary and his words of niceness for the guy that made his favourite show?
I'm not happy with him at all. I'm not happy with him at all. He didn't say jack shit about the guy. He was talking about the media that he consumed and how he loves that so much. So, rip Akira Toriyama, I guess. They're like an afterthought at the end. Fuck no.
Oh, hold on. Jesus Christ.
Parallelogram Yosef tipped £3. Not as great how DSP has been meaningful to me. The moment Philly touched himself live on stream changed my life from depression to optimism and hope.
Oh god.
He'll raise my glass of radiator fluid to that.
Oh my god. Thank you very much to Parallelogram Yosef.
What's the deal with that guy?
So
what is wrong with him?
Thank you very much to Parallelogram Yosef for that very kind...
He's the only guy I see tip, and he only ever talks about radiator fluid.
He's one of a kind, I'll tell you that.
Can you explain that to me?
There is no explaining Yosef and his bizarre ways. It's like trying to explain DSP's hairline. They're just simply not explaining some shit in this world. But thank you very much, Yosef, for the tip and the bizarre words. It is much appreciated. Oh goodness me! Let's crack on bingo.
Pretty sad, but it is what it is. Now there's this other game, Sandland, coming out this year. And I think a lot of people kind of had their eyes on it, but we're like, nah, I don't know if I'm interested or not. You know, a lot of people, Sandland isn't like the most popular manga that Toriyama's done, but now that he's passed away, how much you want to bet? People are going to be all over that game now and be like, oh wow, basically like the final Toriyama game to be made, because now he's gone. But at the same time, guess what? It's an RPG. Oh no.
Yeah, of course he has to complain. Of course he has to
Another
complain.
RPG?
Give me a second here. Do you want it?
Yes. I could do something really cheap for this, but
Hold on a second.
the game was only popular because a guy fucking died. Kill yourself.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Oh my dog! What's up?
2 seconds. So first of all, thank you very much to Dist Optimist for the super chat who says Phil inspired me to drink bleach. There we go. And thank you very much as well to Warren for the super chat who says, what about the guy's life and family? What kind of person was he? Well, thankfully that's where I came in. You know what I mean? I didn't really talk too much about his family kind of life. I just kind of talked about his origins. You know what I mean? Bear in mind, I didn't know a huge amount about the guy. And so I'm not pretending to know much about him either, but I generally was interested in kind of looking into the backstory of him. And even though we know how massively successful he was, I always kind of find it interesting to see how people start off and how they get to where they get to, you know. And also, yeah, I mean, it's like he had a couple of failures, he had a couple of misses, you know, in his early days. He was 23 years old when he needed when he quit his job, and he dove into trying to become a published manga artist and everything else. And he, even though he finally did get published eventually, he was ranked last by the readers. So yeah, it's one of those things where it was like he was close to giving up, but his stubborn bastard way just said, "No, I'm going to keep going until like something that's here, something, you know, resonates with people." And he did. He finally got there in the end. And yeah, I mean, it's a sort of thing, you know what I mean? He kept going, he kept fighting hard, he kept believing in himself, and eventually, yeah, I mean, apparently it was his editor. Like, I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy that became his editor, the guy that first published him as well in that magazine that he got ranked last in, that guy became his editor down the line in future. He was the one that suggested to him, essentially like Kung Fu, why don't you do some sort of Kung Fu kind of manga? And that's kind of how Dragon Ball came to be, you know. So without that recommendation, we might never have had Dragon Ball either from the guy, you know what I mean? The guy's, he's just saying to him, like, essentially like Kung Fu already, why don't you do a manga based on that? And then lo and behold, that's basically how Dragon Ball came to be, at least I got started off anyway. But there we go. Thank you very much for super chats, and yeah, let me just hold on. Let me find the best frame for this.
But at the same time, guess what? It's an RPG.
So, is there a particular frame? Is there a particular frame? I guess it's gonna work. Look at, he's dragging the face more and more. The face is getting more and more stretched.
This is the agony. He looks tortured.
Right there might be it.
He looks like one of those dystopian fucking paintings of hell.
There we go. I think this might be as good as we get. So, fantastic stuff indeed. Let me just a second here. Let me work my logic here. There we go. Look, this is available for all members in my Discord. My members Discord I've got, you know. There we go, and there we go.
Hint.
There we go. Fantastic stuff indeed. Let me just eat that for my members and they can have some fun with that. And there we go. Now my members have access to that to do what they wish. I love how Phil decided to stop talking about the guy, and yet he still can't talk about him. And Columbus seen him shared Maximilian's tweet about this. What did Maximilian... I seen that actually, but I wasn't sure what the context was. Like, what's the... So, what is the context of this tweet? Is it just... Was this just Maximilian dude responding to the original... the news, the bad news?
Yes.
So that was how Maximilian dude responded to the guy passing. Just wow, RIP. Pretty simple, pretty basic, pretty... nothing extravagant. Yeah. It's a very simple kind of, you know... Wow, RIP. Yeah, very to the point. And Phil's response, of course, is, well, the guy died.
Look at all this stuff I consumed as a kid.
Yeah, and he made all my favourite things when I was growing up. Oh shit. Yeah, that's...
And there's nothing wrong with that, but to the extent of just not talking about the guy at all, just talking about the precious media that Phil consumed when he was a kid. No, fucking no.
Fuck me. I would always surprised that Phil had to make it himself. Anyway, let's get on with Bingo.
He didn't have to talk about it at all.
He was
for all that he really said.
He was always going to bring it up. It was inevitable. And he used up... How long did he waste? Well, not waste, but spent talking about that. But he went live... As of this point in time, he went live like 36 minutes ago. Or something like that. I don't know. And we're now behind him by 80 minutes. It's like 20 minutes or so he spent talking about that. Roughly 20 minutes or so.
Oh no! Another RPG? It's like, oh!
Anybody care what this guy thinks? No!
Oh, come on, man. Like, really? Because when would I like to play it? Yes. But right now I have to cut back on the RPGs. I have way too many going on.
What are you gonna play, idiot?
I need to finish up the ones that I'm playing.
Oh, hold on a second. Do we have 100 likes?
Like, if you're not gonna...
Sorry, there you go.
If you're not gonna play the new games that aren't RPGs like Helldivers, then what the fuck? Then just shut up and deal with it. There's no RPG burnout if people are still paying him for Baldur's Gate 3.
You know, remember, Phil makes his own schedule, remember. He's a master of his own schedule and everything else. It's bizarre.
Play Helldivers 2 with Kat. Force her on stream, since that's what you did the last time.
They were looking for a co-op game together, a game they can both play together
and he
on
didn't
stream.
play co-op, he put her up like it was a fucking zoo exhibit while he yapped. She was just occupied with the bait, which was Yakuza.
And then she fucked off because she was bored.
So garbage that even he admitted he had to put it away.
He fucking waddled out a fucking stream mid-stream. Anyway, we have 100 likes. Thank you very much, guys, for liking the stream 100 times. That gives us a free space on the bingo card. But it also means you guys get to enjoy the Bowser animation made by the supremely talented Pixar Animations. Remember to keep an eye in the bottom right for Jasper to do his thing. Welcome up, Jasper. Good cat. I love that fucking cat. Such a good cat.
He looks very spindly, but yeah, I like him too.
Ah, he's such a good cat. But yeah, 100 likes very quickly. Thank you very much for that, guys. And remember, if these, I'm not expecting, of course, but remember, if I hit 200 likes, that's a second free space. Plus, you guys get to see animation again. So there you go.
And if we hit $100 in tips, you'll drink radiator fluid.
Oh, for God's sake! I don't think I have radiator fluid. Oh dear. Oh well, I can maybe put on a radiator fluid hat.
Before I move on to more, you know what I'm saying? So, just things are getting rough around here with the RPGs. Really. Anyway, all right. So, let's move on. Let's briefly talk about my schedule. We have some game news to cover today. Some interesting, positive game news that I think you're gonna like, and then we can see where the show takes us. Okay. Schedule-wise, well, what's going on today? We got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth continuing, and we've got Tekken 8, late night, Friday night fights. Now we're firmly into the purple ranks with Yoshimitsu, and I'm very excited to take on the purple ranks. The matches are going to be way harder. They're going to be way tougher. You
want to know who else hit purple rank recently?
Maximilian, dude.
No. It's someone bigger and beefier than that. Yeah. The big beefy meatball himself, Jaha, managed to fucking hit purple rank. There you go, hit purple. It's a big accomplishment for someone in their 30s. How pathetic does that sound? Yeah, so there we go. Jaha got into purple ranks. Oh god. Oh, not again.
No. I wasn't serious.
Shush.
Don't give him $100.
Parallelogram Yosef tipped £3. Don't put too much thought on why this slob does anything. He's a scammer, a liar, he Khalida playing video games online and having fun interacting with people hard work. He even added a couch at the top of his stairs when winded, which is all the time.
What do you think about radiator fluid?
For God's sake, thank you very much to
I'm betrayed.
Thank you very much to Parallelogram Yusuf again for the tip there. And yeah, as I say, don't put too much thought into why Phil does what he does. Yep.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's one of those fucking things. I like Prophet as well, it's just slandering Jaha. Jaha doesn't even listen, bro. And Jaha confirms, by his own experience anyway, it's a normal good rank, it's not a big deal, just keep playing the game, lol. So there we go. But yeah, Jaha cheats though because he's clearly playing on PC. Look at that. He's playing. This is a keyboard.
No, wait, no. But now PC's the significantly worse platform because it's the game that Phil isn't good at.
But apparently PC players cheat though because they have a frame advantage or something, according to Phil. Oh goodness me.
No, only on the game that Phil is super good and talented at. That's the only way they can beat him there. Also, what the fuck is that? Gamer Face Gaming
Gamer
tweet
Face
there?
Gaming, he's just having fun. Hit time monetized death. Jesus Christ. I mean, really. When you mirror DSP, it looks like he's been pulled by a mystery force, making his face all oddly shaped.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I pointed this out to somebody, I can't remember who. I just can't understand why he looks so much more lopsided, or seems to, when you flip him around. I guess it's just because you're just not used to it.
Which doesn't highlight his features fully. You know, it basically...
Yeah.
It's a surprisingly kind to him, this webcam. Whenever he used, like, also, some people might not be aware of this, but he used to film shorts, and in particular he used to fucking do a short schedule. He doesn't do it anymore, but he had a regular thing before for a wee while that was called the short schedule. So, and yeah, he uses iPhone for it.
Look at those frames, good lord.
Yes, exactly. Oh my god.
That is... Oh, there's the one that makes him look ugly. There's the one that he got angry about.
Parallelogram Yosef tipped £1. Cheers to you, you Scottish turd. I only started drinking me radiator fluid cause of you. King of nothing you are. ACHKT you finally got good guest on. Raises glass of radiator fluid, can't forget me old trusty fluid.
Oh no.
It comes in different colours.
You fucking dick. Why?
Thank you very much
Why
to
you like
Parallel. Hey, they're very nice to you. They're being complimentary to you there, but thank you again to Parallelogram Joseph for the tip.
I'll die laughing, I swear.
Yeah, so there we go. But yeah, for people who weren't aware, Phil in late 2022 did a whole bunch of short schedules, and he used his iPhone to record them, and it did not make him look good. A higher quality webcam.
The fact that the shorts are always the auto-generated thumbnail really doesn't help.
I mean, I like you said. I like how you said before that tip came in. There's the one where it made his face look ugly. And I'm thinking, narrow it down.
Which fucking one?
Yeah, I mean, literally could point to anyone.
I
and
speak
go,
too
there.
soon.
Bullseye.
It's a bad habit.
Just throw a dart anywhere. Bullseye. It's that one.
The short schedule. Sunday, October the 23rd,
This one.
2022.
This is the one he complained about.
Yes.
What's up, everyone? Phil here with the short schedule, and since we've
Try to
been
get the
playing
frame.
Gotham Knights for a couple of days,
Try to get the frame. Impossible. Impossible. The thing is,
Go on. You
these,
could be close.
No, on these
Let's see how
shorts, you
close
can't
you
go
get.
frame by frame. Like, you can pause it, but you can't go frame by frame. Also, I'm not entirely
Let's
sure
see
where
how
the
close
frame
you can get
happens.
now I've decided that we're going to do a little bit of variety on.
That's actually not far away. I think.
Oh.
That's not too far away.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. What did the comments say?
This is-
He only has one. And it's not visible.
You deleted it.
What's up, everyone? Phil here with.
Shut up, Phil. But yeah, so yeah.
This is what Cat sees every day.
So yeah, he made these for a little while and then stopped making them. Because
You can
reasons.
see why.
Yeah, the very last one he made was probably this one here, November 7th. And then he just stopped making them. Why is there a big red circle around this?
What? That's
This is not
some
me.
kind of glitch. I
This
dare
is
say.
not me. This is on YouTube.
Isn't that like the fucking red circle thing that goes around channels whenever they're live? Like the little
No.
icon? Yeah.
It's possible it broke.
It just glitched out.
That is so weird. I've never seen that. So
Oh, well.
the red circle just decided to just go around the whole damn thing. That's so bizarre. Oh, there you go.
At least you leave your
YouTube
VODs
broke.
on so we can all see it.
YouTube's broke. Shane, everyone. There's another bug on YouTube, and I bet they won't fix it, and they'll secretly fix it without telling us all about it. Fuck me, man.
They're book smart, but not street smart.
Oh, no, that shit again. I can't fucking believe I called that. Anyway, let's crack on with Bingo. We're doing quite well with Bingo. We have one free space already. Thanks for you guys liking the stream. We are 5 snorts away from a secondary free space. Don't think we'll get the burps, who knows though. But it looks like we're going to get 2 free spaces at least anyway today, so... And we might not even need them at this rate, you know, because we are cooking so far.
It's going to be good, though. I'm going to get better at the game, and I'm having fun with it, and I'm looking forward to this tonight. I hope you'll join me, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. Saturday, more Baldur's Gate 3, paired with more Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Sunday, big news, everyone. Daylight saving time begins in the United States this Sunday, March 10th? Yes. So on Sunday the 10th, my streams start an hour earlier. I'm going to say that again. Ladies and gentlemen, on Sunday, March 10th, all of my streams will start 1 hour earlier.
This is not true for people that live in Phil's time zone, is it?
No idea.
Because he's going to start at his own usual time. So he's only telling this, and this is only relevant for people that are not in his time zone.
Hold on a second. Ladies and gentlemen, on Sunday, March 10th, all of my streams will begin 1 hour earlier. That means the podcast, that means the DSP React show, that means the Retro React on DSP Throwback. Everything starts 1 hour earlier. You might say, Phil, why are you being so adamant about telling us about this? Because every single time daylight savings time happens, everyone's late or early. Like, everyone doesn't understand and they show up at the wrong time. It never fails, okay? So, please be aware. I don't want you guys missing out on the podcast. I don't want you missing out on the React show, DSP versus the Internet, on DSP React. I don't want you missing out on Retro React of Heavy Rain continuing on DSP Throwback. All of it will be an hour earlier. So, my time, it'll be, you know, the stream turning on at 10:45 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, which is technically 1 hour earlier than when the stream turned on this morning. I really hate this, but I'm not going to rant about it again because people are tired of hearing me rant about daylight saving time.
I've never even heard him rant about daylight saving time.
So yes, on Sunday, everything's earlier, and it is React Day. So it will be the podcast here on DSP Gaming, the React show on DSP Reacts, and then the Retro React of Heavy Rain on the Throwback channel. Monday, it will be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and that's it. There will not be a late stream on Monday because I'm going to be both filming Patreon private React videos as well as working on private stuff behind the scenes, okay? Tuesday, we'll get back into the full-time gaming with Baldur's Gate 3 and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. And then Wednesday, no wait, I take that back. Tuesday will be Baldur's Gate 3 and Tekken 8. And then Wednesday will be Final Fantasy 7 and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and that's the streaming week, okay? So there you go. Yes, the next new game.
I like how he's clutching his little fucking squeeze stress ball thing.
Back. Tuesday will be Baldur's Gate 3 and Tekken 8. And then Wednesday will be Final Fantasy 7 and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and that's the streaming.
But you can see it there in his hand there, you know what I mean? Like, it's just right there. He's currently, you know, Dizzy, the carpal tunnel. The carpal tunnel's hitting me hard again. Oh god, you know what I mean? So he's,
yeah, he can't let his hands just die.
Oh Jesus Christ! Even though carpal tunnel is meant to affect the wrists and not the fingers, but whatever, Phil, whatever you say. Obviously is smarter than doctors, not shit, you know, because he can diagnose what carpal tunnel is without, you know, knowing what it affects. Okay, Phil, whatever you say.
Week, okay? So there you go. Yes, the next new game that I'm looking to play is Star Wars Battlefront Collection. It does come out 1 week from today. I'm thinking about how to fit it into the schedule. I think I might do it as a daytime stream just for that one day to get a good amount of gameplay in of it. And then after that, it might become a night stream. I'll have to look into it and figure out how we're going to add this into the schedule.
Yeah,
okay, but it looks good. The collection is looking good. I'm excited for it. What else? Okay, I think that covers that. So, ladies and gentlemen, guess what?
DSP news.
It's time for Phil's day off because yesterday was my day off from streaming. I don't have too much particularly to talk about today, but yesterday I had a million things to do. I had to go to the garbage dump.
Had a million
Busy
things
boy.
to do. Wow.
That's 4 million.
I had to stock up on so much stuff around the house. I had to go to the pet store and buy a bunch of stuff for Jasper Kitty.
So I've noticed that he's not saying we had to do this, we had to do this. So Phil was out by himself. Rather than spending some quality time with his special fucking wife or whatever, he stayed home. Why could Kat not go with Phil to spend time together when they were shopping for things? I mean, I don't understand. It's like, you know, oh, I barely get to spend time with my wife, Phil says, and wouldn't that be a good time to spend some time together? It's just like 2 birds with 1 stone. You get to spend time together while doing and getting some errands and.
But he has to play video games all day.
I don't know. But yeah, but it sounds like Kat didn't go with him. I forgot. Some people are so cruel, but also funny. Lauren says she could not fit in the car. Hi, I'm Stu says because she's fat.
Oh yeah, probably. There it fucking goes again.
Tom says his garage is filled with food containers and used cat litter. It must smell awful. I can only imagine. Jesus Christ, it must be fucking hideous.
And stock up on other things as well. I had to go grocery shopping, so I had a lot to do. I was out and about for a lot of the day, a big chunk of the day. My wife beat Power Washing Simulator.
Did she stay at home and play the video game? Oh my god. I'm going to play a washing simulator game. I'm going to do some more cleaning in a video game than I will do ever in the fucking snort fort. Oh my god. She stayed home, played a video game while Phil was so super busy running about in all these different places and stores trying to get all this stuff in.
She would look insanely regarded playing a video game on her own, man.
Oh,
I could
Jesus
just picture
Christ.
her. It would be fucking ridiculous clownery.
Let me rewind that just so that I say a thing, but yeah, I just love that, you know, Phil, instead of having some quality time to spend together, you know, Kat's like, nah, you fucking go and do that shit, Phil. I'm gonna play my video games.
My wife beat Power Washing Simulator, which is a game that she's over a week ago. She started playing it on Xbox Game Pass and not knowing what to expect. Right? She's thinking, oh, it's just a game about power washing, so it's just gonna be like a relaxing game. It'll probably be a grind, but it should just be a game just to relax and chill. So she thought, oh, I'll play it a little bit piece by piece for a while. Right? Like, it's not something you're gonna want to continuously play because it's just power washing. Oh no, the game has an insane plot. This game, Power Washing Simulator, just so you know, for anyone who has never played this game, has a plot about missing cats, a mayor who seems to be making really bad choices and all the people in this town hate him, okay? A volcano that seems like it's going to erupt and kill the people in the town next to it, okay? Mysterious happenings with things seemingly magic, okay? I mean, I can keep going on. I don't want to spoil the entire story of the game, but literally, like, you start just washing arbitrary things in the game. But as you're doing it, there's all these plot lines popping up in messages you get. And you're like, what? And then as you start washing stuff, you find like little Easter eggs and hidden secrets that reference this plot going on. So you could very much just ignore the plot. You could just say, okay, all you do is power wash stuff. It's true. But if you pay attention to the plot, it's a whole other, it's got fantasy, sci-fi, like thriller aspects to it. It's weird that that's where they went with that game. So she was hooked. She was riveted. And so she's been playing it for like a week and a half, and then she beat it last night. Well, I say during the day when I was actually out doing my errands. When I came home, she's like raving about how good it was. You know, telling me all about the end of the game and basically saying, you know, if anyone is interested in a game that is relaxing, but at the same time has an amazing plot that keeps you hooked. Because the thing is, as you're power washing, you want to keep playing. Even though it's a grind, you just want to keep going because you want to see what's the next wild part of this plot. What could possibly happen next? And then something crazy happens. You're like, what? Who would have thought that would have been in there, right? So anyway, yeah, pretty interesting, and give it a look. And by the way, it has all these different expansions. Now those you have to pay for. The base game is on Game Pass right now, but you have to pay for all. They have expansions for Warhammer 40K, Final Fantasy VII, Back to the Future, SpongeBob SquarePants. Yes, all these things from pop culture. You can actually buy DLC expansions and do those as well. So pretty funny and pretty fun. I recommend it. Having watched her play it, I recommend it, but just understand the gameplay is literally just power washing stuff. So it is grindy and can get boring and repetitive, but there's actually a really cool reason to keep going, okay? Cool. So anyway, after that, she's like, well, she needs something else to hold her over, because the next game she's interested in is Dragon's Dogma 2, and so she downloaded Forza Horizon 5 off of Game Pass and started playing it, and I watched her play it for a few hours, and she doesn't play driving games. She doesn't race at all. And she likes it, but there's definitely some things about it that I agree with her that aren't that fun for newcomers. For example,
that weight.
You start the game with these amazing events, like you're chasing a plane and get to the festival, right? You go to an area where there's a rainstorm and you find a bunch of hidden temples and you learn all this cool stuff about Mexican like history and lore. She's like, I love those missions. And then it'll be like, okay, so now you've done those missions, you unlocked a bunch of ridiculous grind. You know, hit a speed trap at a certain speed, do a stunt jump, do a street race. And it's all grindy stuff that doesn't really have meaning, but you have to do it to unlock the next leg of the story. For someone like her, she's a casualized player. She's not interested in car culture. She just wants a nice fast car, and she wants to drive around and enjoy the scenery, and she wants to do some fun missions. She doesn't want to do the grind. And that's how they designed the game, is that there's this grind in between that's just not very fun, and I have to agree with her there, that if you're just into stuff that's kind of interesting to a newcomer to cars or whatever, the last thing you want to do is spend an hour, 2 hours between the fun missions grinding. So she likes the game, but there's definitely some things that are annoying her.
Burger.
So anyway, that's what she's playing now. I don't know how much she's going to play it. Like, I was there when she played it, so when there was something tough that she got stuck on, like she would try something 2-3 times and couldn't do it. I say, here, let me try, and then I would do it, and then it lets her pass, and she goes on to the next thing.
This is so fucking asinine and pointless. Why the hell is Pat's fucking gaming anything to do with fucking... Well, you know, why is this any of our business? We don't need to know this. We're not required to know this. It is not necessary for us to know this. And yet Phil is intent on telling us this pointless fucking bit of trivia about what Cat is currently playing. It is unnecessary drivel. It is just super pointless. Where's my otters? Are they all in the hole? They all might be in the hole together in Monterey Bay. So cute. Is this filled back up yet? It almost is. So they've almost filled up the Vancouver aquarium back up. They're still filling up with water, but it's almost there. But yeah, and the Monterey Bay ones are just having a nap. Fucking good for them. But yeah, basically Phil's day off was a bunch of boring shit where he went out grocery shopping while his fucking wife stayed home and played video games all day. And then he probably stuffed her face. That's the thing, we've not got to the food segment yet, Phil. What did you and Kat have for your weekly DoorDash treat?
That didn't happen a lot. I think it happened maybe twice. We actually ended with her first barn find, where she found the barn, she got the car inside, and it ended up being like this incredibly crappy Ford Focus that now is going to get restored. She's like, man, we drove all around looking for it, and that's what we're going to get, some shitty Ford Focus. I was like, that's the thing with barn finds. Like, you never know what you're going to get with those cars. So anyway, that's what she's up to now. And for dinner, we ordered Korean food again. Remember a few weeks ago, I told you it was the first time ever we had tried Korean barbecue? We tried Korean again, and I got my very first ever authentic bibimbap. Does anyone know what bibimbap is? This is an authentic Korean dish that includes various different kinds of vegetables prepared in different ways, as well as meat and an egg on top. Okay, so it had all this stuff. It had kimchi. First time I've ever in my life eaten kimchi, which is fermented cabbage. Unique, interesting. I liked it. I was like, oh, this is something so different. It had marinated bean sprouts, and those were all right. They were very, very hydrating of the mouth. Like they had a lot of water in them when you ate them. What was the thing in the upper left-hand corner? Hold on, I'm having a brain fart. Oh, it was like this specialty pickles. They were these small pickle chips, but they had this like seasoning on them, so it had a little bit of spice, but a little bit of sweet flavor too. That was unique. I never had anything like that before. And then here's the thing that blew me away: seaweed. But the seaweed was the kind of seaweed that's dried and prepared to be used as like a wrapper in sushi, but it was its own pocket of seaweed on rice. So I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this. It looks weird. It looks like it's black. And you're like, oh, anything black? That doesn't sound appetizing. I took one bite. I was like, this is really good. I was blown away by the flavor. I was like, I absolutely loved the seaweed, and I'd never had it before except in sushi. And eating it by itself and then with the rice, I was absolutely loving the flavor. I was like, wow, it's so unique. It's a little bit fishy. It's a little bit salty, but it has this unique flavor that just was delicious. And you can eat it with everything in there. Like, you can mix it with the stuff, and it tastes great. And then, of course, the meat. And I forget what they call their meat. It's beef, and they prepare it in a certain way, and I can't remember exactly what they call it. I think it starts with a B. I can't remember right now, but it's their preparation of the beef, and it tastes great. Is it bulgogi or something like that? I think it might be bulgogi, beef bulgogi. And that was also absolutely amazing. Sweet, tender, flavorful. Okay? The only thing, I'm going to be honest, the one thing I was disappointed at was the egg, and because they overcooked it a little bit. So the egg around the edges was a little bit, you know how when you overcook an egg on the edge, it's like hard, and it's hard to like eat because it doesn't just break with a fork. It's like has that film around it. And the egg was soft, but also it was a little overcooked. So you can see there's a little bit of the cooked yolk, and I was like, that's definitely not supposed to be like that. You know, it was overcooked, the egg. So that was the one disappointment. Everything else in the dish was amazing. And I was like, this is cool because, as I've told you guys, I live in Washington State. This state is a melting pot for Asian cultures. This is the state that when people fly over from Asia to the United States, they have to go here first. This is where the airport is that they all land at. And a lot of Asians who, you know, immigrated here just stayed. They said, we're just going to stay in Washington. So we have all this Asian food here. And Korean food is one of the few things in the, you know, how many years that I've lived here? 10? I've never tried it before. And my wife and I trying it a few weeks ago, were blown away at how good it was. And now I'm like, this is like another whole new world of cuisine to try, right?
What have I missed?
I tried this bibimbap, and I'm like, this is so good. I've never had any of these dishes. I never had kimchi. I never had marinated bean sprouts. I never had the seaweed, right?
So I'm gonna drink the radiator fluid.
I never had those pickles. I don't even know what they're called, those special pickles. I never had the bulgogi. And I'm literally just eating in a circle, and I'm like, dude, everything is unique and delicious. I've never had this before. I'm 41 years old, and I'm still exploring new cool cuisines that are in my area, right? Pretty neat.
Food.
Cool. Green Mega Man says, can you show us what the leftovers look like? Sure, let me bend over and show you as it comes out the other end. Hold on. No, I ate it.
What the fuck?
You're disgusting.
Oh my god, Phil. Hold on, I've got a sound thing for that.
I'm sorry?
There we go. Oh, there's a sound clip for
What
everything.
the hell, man?
Yeah. I mean, oh my god, shows leftovers. I guess there was no leftovers on this occasion because Phil was going to bend over for a guy. Sadly, Scat Talk is not on the card today. It's amazing to think there is a possibility of leftovers in that household with somebody like Cat there. Cat strikes me as like some sort of human vacuum cleaner where no food is left behind. You know, it's like when you go.
Phil just confirmed that there isn't.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying though. But yeah, I mean, Cat strikes me as you know these kind of heroic soldiers in war who, when somebody gets wounded, they go back for them and they save them, no man left behind. Cat strikes me as the type of person to make sure there's no crumb left behind on either plate. You know what I mean? Just as okay, every single morsel of food is going to get consumed and nothing will get thrown into trash. The only thing that's going to be fucking, you know, thrown out is the containers because you can't eat plastic.
The leftovers look like? Sure, let me bend over and show you as it comes out the other end. Hold on. No, I ate it, and any leftovers, you know, it wasn't significant. We put them into our waste disposal in our sink. So anyway, anyway, really? Azo Kamaru says you haven't lived till you had someone's 70-year-old grandma's homemade kimchi. It hits different. That was the first exposure to kimchi I've ever had. I've seen it in the Yakuza video games and Lost Judgment video games, but I've never actually tried it before.
Everything comes from video games.
And I don't know if that was actually representative of what it was supposed to be. It was pretty unique. It had some good flavor to it, but I don't know. You know, is it supposed to be more vinegary? It's supposed to be. I've heard of hot kimchi, and this kimchi was not hot whatsoever. It was just kind of like vinegary. So I don't know if it's supposed to taste any different or whatever. No, I'm telling you guys, there weren't significant leftovers to save. I think the only thing that was left, I ate all of the seaweed, I ate all of the beef, I ate the egg. I think there was a little bit of the bean sprouts, a little bit of the kimchi, and a little bit of the pickles left. Just a little bit. So that I got rid of. Anyway. So, yeah. Great food. Good time. Good chill times with my wife. You know, playing Forza Horizon 5. It was a pretty good day off, I would say. Pretty good day off, and I was really enjoying myself. So there you go. Okay. Cool. All right. So that's Phil's day off, everybody. Now, what I'd like to do is game news. Ready for this? Because we have some interesting game news stories. All right. Game news story.
Is this not a fucking topic for DSPN? I guess not.
Number one, for those who are interested in playing Dragon's Dogma 2 in a couple of weeks when it comes out, today has launched the Character Creator. What that means is that right now, whether you're on Xbox, PlayStation, or PC on Steam, you can download a client that allows you to create your character ahead of time. And then when the game actually comes out, that will import into your game. I think this is a genius move because number one, it's free, so everyone gets a taste of the game and it's basically free PR for the game. And number two, typically when you start playing a new game, you want to jump right into the new game. You don't want to spend an hour creating your character, yet everyone has to, right? Every time you play a new RPG, undoubtedly we all end up sitting there creating our characters for a while when it starts. Well, in this case, you could bypass that. You could do it now and then have it just import. So check it out. I mean, this is a really cool tactic by Capcom. I think they know what they're doing with...
Oh my dog! What's up?
Thank you very much, Ira, for a super chat who says, no wonder you broke 3 waste disposal units. Yeah, Phil once again demonstrating he didn't learn any lessons from before by just throwing all the leftover food down the waste disposal. He has broken several of them in the past by just throwing all his leftover food down the waste disposal. And yet he has clearly not learned his lesson at all. And is still doing it. So yeah, you'd think he would have learned by now, but I guess not. It's just the way it is. Nothing they can do. Bugged waste disposal mechanics and all that jazz.
This is a very smart move. Speaking of Capcom, there's huge positive news in regards to Capcom. I don't know if you guys have heard it. Capcom is doing so well right now with their series of Street Fighter, Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, among others. You know, I mean, Dragon's Dogma 2 is about to launch. So they're doing so well. While everyone else in the industry, Activision, Xbox, Sony, and more, well, they're all cutting jobs. Listen to this. Capcom has announced... Oh, I forgot to put DSPN. All right, thank you, guys. I forgot to put DSPN. Sorry about that. Capcom has announced they are raising salaries of their employees by more than 25%.
Oh, cool.
What? They're giving everyone a giant raise who works for the company. In addition to that, existing employees will also receive a one-time specialty thank you payment from the company. What?
Oh, that's nice.
Wait a minute.
Now, please
I
stop telling
thought
us
things were so
DLC.
bad for game developers right now. Oh my god, every company needs to cut jobs, right? Well, isn't that kind of weird? That Capcom doesn't have to do that, but Capcom is doing the opposite and rewarding its employees? It's almost like it's all bullshit. It's almost like those companies that are cutting jobs are doing it because the people who run the companies are greedy scumbags who don't care about their employees.
Or it's almost like different
almost
companies
like
are in different situations.
someone who runs a company who has
idiot.
morals and a conscience actually can reward its employees, and the company won't go out of business because that's the reality of the situation. Oops.
What is he talking
It's
about?
almost like you would want to work for a good company like Capcom because they appreciate what you do, they
It's
cherish you as a
almost
human being and
like
an employee, and they
he
want to
will
retain
work
you,
ever
so they're going to pay you
again.
more to keep you on so you can continue to be successful. They don't see you as a number on a spreadsheet or a cog in the machine. They don't see you as disposable.
Like,
They
Phil
want you to be
Keys
part
is
of their
dead.
family. The problem is, Capcom is rare. Capcom is the rarity, the diamond in the rough. Sadly,
this
most of these
naive?
other companies don't care because they're all about profits and money going to the people in charge and the shareholders. Well, in Capcom, they want to make everyone at the company
baby.
have a good life. Do you see the difference? And I know that I rant about this a lot on this show. I know this, right? I hate corporate America particularly because that's the company I know the most about. But it's not the company I know the most about. That's the country I know the most about. Excuse me. But the point I'm making here is, it's not just America, it's worldwide.
blockhead.
Most major corporations have become like this. They're not about the family business and actually caring about the workforce. Once these companies reach a certain size, they just don't care about anything but profits.
Side Phil.
It's incredibly disgusting, honestly, for someone with morals like me to look at them and be like, man,
Like
I can't
me.
imagine treating people like dog shit. You know, just because I can, because it makes me richer. You know what I mean?
You are
But then
dog
again,
shit.
you take a look at YouTube. How many YouTubers act like shit to others just to get over?
Okay, I'm taking hateful sorry right here.
5 in a row. That's concerning.
This is, yeah, all of a sudden it crosses over into YouTuber jealousy.
Just to get ahead, just to make $1, right? So you gotta understand, it's actually the human nature, it's human condition. Step on someone else
$1,000
to get
Persona
ahead.
3 that you never finished.
That's just what these corporations are doing. It's exactly in tune with how humans act when they put in positions of power and profitability. Instead of caring and doing the right thing morally and taking care of others, and it's a group mentality of we all succeed together, it's I succeed and all of you under me get crushed under my fucking heels and I don't give two shits about you because you're peons, right? And that's basically corporations right now, in a lot of situations. It's sad. Because if, again, the narrative being spun by Xbox, by Sony, by Activision, by who was the other company recently? Was it EA? It was either EA or Ubisoft or one of the two who also did the giant layoffs, right? I can't even remember because it's everyone at once, so I've actually lost track of who it is, right? But if the narrative is, oh, this is necessary to do these restructures and to lose these employees because, you know, the industry is down, then how do you expect to explain how Capcom is giving everyone a raise and a pay bonus at the same time? It doesn't make sense. It literally, two facts don't line up, right? So there you go. And here's the thing. When Capcom makes this their philosophy, okay? If they make this their philosophy, people are going to want to work for Capcom. Capcom's going to do better because the better talent is going to go to Capcom, right? You don't just get people desperate for jobs. You get people who want to work for you, who are the best because they're going to be treated the best.
Still made
so their strategy works.
Decisions.
Positive reinforcement, positive rewarding works better than negative reinforcement and punishment. But these companies are so greedy, they don't understand that. So what's going to happen is you're going to have a company like EA, who literally is a cutthroat company, people who are busting their balls, overworked, making shitty-ass fucking games that won't sell and won't make the company money, and then they just lay the employees off. Versus Capcom, you're going to have employees who are happy, who are getting paid a ton, who are putting out quality products, are allowed to make the products they want, that are quality, and then they're rewarded for it at the end of the day, so more of the talent pool gravitates towards that company. Do you see?
First time on the pig
How
show
these
for
idiots
Meester.
in charge of these companies don't understand this, I have no fucking clue. Because it's just common sense, but that's the problem. People are dumb as fuck in 2024, especially people in places of power like this. They all think they know better because they were raised rich. They have the silver spoon in their fucking mouth. They probably went to Ivy League schools and top universities around the world, and they've only been surrounded by wealth and opulence their whole goddamn life. So then when they get to a position of power, they think their shit doesn't stink, and everything they do is right, and they don't listen to anyone. They don't look at the industry. They won't look at Capcom and say, oh, that's the way to do it. We also want to do it that way. Instead, they'll be like, oh, what are they doing over there? They're making us look bad, right? That's how they are. It's just sad that that's the situation we're in. You have creative people who want to make amazing artistic experiences, and the people in charge of these game companies tell them, no, make a crappy paint by numbers live service game with tons of microtransactions, right? Games as a service forever. That's what we need to make money. And then they pump out a piece of dog shit that no one wants, and then, oh, well, you see, our game didn't do well, so now we have to lay off employees. That's your fault. Management of these companies, you're the ones at fault, not the people making the games. You're the morons telling them what to do, and it's all the wrong decisions. Right? Take a look at Capcom. Everything they've been doing is correct. They completely redirected their ship. When Street Fighter 5
Everything they've been
was
doing is
panned
correct.
critically, right? They righted their ship and then made Street Fighter 6 exactly what everyone wanted in every possible
Shut
fucking
him
way.
up, shut
right?
him up, shut him
Everything
up.
people asked for, you were
There's more than one person who wants to rant here. First of all, no. Capcom have not been doing everything right at all. Like, the Street Fighter 6 DLC, from what I understand, is overpriced, and there was controversy about it. And number 2, Coolimp wants to rant.
Oh, he does. I mean, he's welcome to. Like, he knows how to join in. Like,
Get in here.
Yeah, I mean, so he's more than welcome to hop on and have a rant if he needs to. So yeah, I mean, he knows how to. Yeah, I mean, he knows he has the ability to if he wants to have a rant. Wolf of Midnight says that Phil said idiot there at some point in time. When did it happen? Because Phil was going
here he is.
mental. Coolimp, you've got a rant, I hear.
I find it polite to ask first rather than make
Burger?
5 in a row. That's
it's as simple
concerning.
as that's the reason why I ask first.
That's the
All right,
problem.
so here's the fucking problem with this. Not even talking about development as like a broader subject. Hold on, let me move my microphone down a little bit closer so I don't sound like I'm a million miles away. Not even talking about development as like a broader subject on how development works. There's a company in San Antonio where I live that they overpay their employees. They pay them like well above industry average. Rackspace. Rackspace is it. But you know what the problem with Rackspace is?
What?
They lay off about 20% of their staff every year.
So they overhire and they have too many people on the books, so they got to let some people go.
Yep, they overhire. I'm not going to say that they overpay because depending on what job you have in IT, you are normally grossly underpaid. So they overpay compared to industry standards. And then about every year around January to February, they lay off hundreds to thousands of employees, depending on what market it is. So a lot of customer service people get low. Information security, you're still going to lose some folks. So what he's sitting here saying, like, look at what they're doing. They're going to be able to hire all the best. No, that's not what's going to happen. What they're going to do is they're going to take in a whole bunch of extra people, and then they're going to turn around and see who floats and who needs to be flushed away. This is IT. Other companies are just as bad about it. Google will do the same thing. They'll hire a whole bunch of extra people, and if you can't rise to the occasion, they will get rid of you. They will lay off a whole bunch of people all at once. And it's frustrating. It is really, really frustrating for this idiot to sit here and try to talk about the gaming industry specifically when he knows nothing about it. To develop a game is not something you do over the course of like 6 months. Years long process. So when he was bitching about Final Fantasy 16 specifically Final Fantasy 16, the CEO of Square said yes, it underperformed. Underperformed is not the same thing as a flop. Underperformed is not the same thing as a failure. What they might have been expecting is 20 million copies sold in the first month instead of 3.5 million. So their expectation is different than what is failure or not failure.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there trying to wave his hands around to try and make his fucking point about how good Capcom's doing. No. Capcom's going to do the same thing every other IT development company does. They will hire a bunch of people, get a whole bunch of work done, and then they'll fucking lay them off. Because that's what happens.
You can't guarantee
Information
a good game
security?
either. Like, you cannot guarantee. It doesn't matter how many people you've got on board. It doesn't matter what you're paying them. You can't guarantee a game's going to be a massive hit. I mean, there's no...
Exactly.
I mean, it can be a popular IP, but if the game doesn't... If it's not made well, you know, if there's shortcuts that have happened, if they rushed the game out or whatever, then the gamers will usually identify that and not buy the game. And to say, look, we're not going to buy garbage.
And just to point something out here real quick, because that little whole thing about Power Wash Simulator, there is no plot to Power Wash Simulator. You clean things. That's it.
Oh yeah,
Jesus,
and he did say idiot. He did say idiot. He was referring to like the idiots in these companies or whatever.
I said morons.
Rewind if you don't believe me.
Well, I know he said moron,
And
but I
that's
don't believe he said it.
No, he did say idiot.
Okay, I'll
And that's the whole catch for me is he tries to act like he's this industry insider, and he's not.
Not just an insider.
He tries to act like he knows what these companies can and cannot do, and it takes years to develop a game properly. A really good example of this is Cyberpunk 2077. That game was in development for years.
That was also a very ambitious game. Yeah, they rushed it eventually, but it was also an extremely ambitious what they were trying to do. And to be fair to them,
100%.
And
didn't it come out in like 2017 or something like that?
To their credit, they never stopped. I mean, they never stopped, working on it, even after it came out. To their credit. But it was certainly, I mean, when it released, it was a disaster.
Yeah. I didn't have any problems with it, but I also had a beastly PC, so it could handle it.
I mean,
but yeah, what's going to happen? I can call it now. What's going to happen is Capcom's going to give all these raises. They're going to see who rises to the occasion. Anyone who doesn't rise to the occasion, they're going to get laid off anywhere between 3 to 12 months from now. And then he'll be right back here saying how shitty Capcom is for letting go so many employees. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of funny how that's it seems like a standard, at least when it comes to these kind of particular companies. I can actually relate to it to some small degree because I worked for. So in the UK, there's the Department for Work and Pensions. It's technically like a government job, Department for Work and Pensions, and the whole primary goal is to try and find people jobs. I worked in like the admin department of one of the branches there, and I was told by somebody that actually had a full-time job there. I was on a temporary contract, and I was told, yeah, you probably won't get kept on, just because they knew how it worked. They knew the process. They overhire towards the end of the year, and after the first few months, after a 16-week contract, whatever, you're gone in February or March, whatever, and that's you gone. So it's something apparently happens all the time, even these kind of big government roles, whatever, when you're fucking meant to be doing IT stuff for helping process all the shit, but apparently it happens in all sorts of IT related industries where they overhire and then they have to let a bunch of people go because just because of the way they work it.
And in some cases, IT roles are specifically, they don't expect you to stay for more than 2 years because they don't give you raises, and then I can say, well, I worked as a Linux admin for 2 years for X company. I'm not going to say who I work for.
Smart.
I worked for XYZ company for 2 years as a Linux admin, even though I didn't do a lot of the work. And then I can turn around and take my 62.5 and get 75 somewhere else because they're not going to give me a raise. And I do like what Araya says. Capcom is Japanese. They have good worker rights, which prevents mass layoffs and incentivize bonuses. They also work 80 hours a week, so you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, the Japanese working culture is notoriously crazy. Like, some people work themselves to death.
5.5-day weeks.
Yeah, I mean, also, I don't think there's such a thing as overtime in Japan, is there? You get paid a set salary. You don't get, you may get bonuses to some degree, but I don't think overtime exists, does it?
Not to my knowledge. I'm not that well versed in them. I know that I've read a few blogs that state that they typically work a full 5-day week, and then they normally come in on Saturday for a half day.
Jesus, man.
My cat hates Philly Child as well. He's trying to get to distract me.
Oh no.
But yeah, I work a 40-hour week job. I don't expect to keep it forever, but if I was in Japan, for instance, they do have good stuff going on. A really interesting company, and this is just because we need some positivity here. Let's not be super negative. Is Games Workshop. Games Workshop treats everyone like they are actually in the UK. So the people who run the Games Workshop's actual physical brick and mortar stores, they actually get the same level of benefits. So I knew one of the guys who ran the stores. He got a full throat repair because he had cancer, I believe, and it only cost him like $200. For me, that would cost something like $100,000 to $200,000.
That's insanity, man.
So before I left, I want to leave on some positivity. Games Workshop at least treats their American employees really well.
because they're a British-based company, and I guess they kind of follow their own policies there. It's amazing how that works. So, like, because in the UK anyway, put it this way, for me, so I work for a bank, and we have some kind of added perks to that. You know what I mean? Like, we have like life insurance cover as part of working. So if I happen to die, I get paid. My fiance will get 10 times my salary as a payout. To kind of help cover the some costs, for example. We have optional private health insurance as well, and they also kind of have a thing for your pension where they will contribute up to 2 times of what you put towards your pension. Like, so if you guys kind of sacrifice some of your salary towards your pension, they will double up on that themselves. So also, like, you hear some of the horror stories about how some of these companies operate around the world. So I'm always also quite fortunate, to the UK, isn't it? I personally think it's kind of depressing to be fucking British right now, because we have the lowest state pension in Europe. For people that are getting the state pension, the government pension is so much lower compared to what people in France and Germany and Spain and etc. will get for reaching retirement age and everything else. You know what I mean? And it's just fucking depressing in that extent. But yeah, at the same time though, work-wise anyway, I feel like usually, companies will usually take care of the employees as long as say some will probably take a piss, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's definitely different countries definitely have some interesting standards.
And it's nice to know that some people get really good benefits. And it's nice to know that Capcom is giving all of its employees a 25% raise, which should be a big red flag for Philly Child. And they're all getting bonuses, which should be the second big red flag. But he doesn't understand like how much goes into making a video game. I'm sure Prophet will understand this because I think he's done some coding as well. In college, when I was working on my degree, I had to make, all it was a basics physics calculator that asked what part of the physics problem you wanted to solve. It was 200 lines of code, and I spent 90 minutes one day because I was trying to finish it up so I could turn in my work and go home. I spent 90 minutes looking for a single semicolon. I had to go through and check every single line and run it multiple times.
This is going to sound pretty dumb on my part. Could you not just done Control F and found it that way?
No, it's because the actual program I was using didn't detect any errors in it.
Oh, right.
So it thought everything was fine. So whenever I ran it, one of the problems, one of the statements didn't have what's called a terminator on it.
Right.
So it kept running into the next line of code, and it caused a problem, and it would fail.
Right, okay.
Are we getting a little bit off topic?
But that's 200 lines of code. And a lot of the stuff that's in modern video games are way more than 200 lines of code.
So
Walking is more than 200 lines of code.
Oh.
So
let's consider for a moment a person walking into a wall, and the wall is supposed to stop them. That's thousands of lines of code, not hundreds.
Jesus, man.
Ben Heck says it's like try 50,000 lines of code. So that's my point. He doesn't understand how much goes into it, and whenever he starts bitching about, oh, the game was released buggy, motherfucker, you do it then.
Yeah, it's like Phil's.
Sorry.
It's certainly one of the big pet peeves a lot of people have about Phil. He pretends to be an authority and an expert
Phil was
in
really
subject matter.
and he never fixed it.
Just because he's played a lot of games doesn't mean he understands how the process of what goes into making these games, especially these ones that take years and years to develop, that require teams of hundreds of people to make the game, and everything that goes into trying to create the game and trying, meeting the deadlines and trying to, the corners have to cut and expect, there's so much, especially
he doesn't understand
big,
other
massive
consumers either, though.
Yeah, he has no concept whatsoever. But he's pretended to know better than all these big massive gaming companies out there. He is smarter than everyone else apparently, as usual. But,
which is why he is a bottom tier level. because he's not level 1. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Philly Child is not level 1 because he can actually.
Beta testing.
Well, no, not even that. He is actually above level 1. He's like level 10. The reason why I say that is because he can actually maintain his current lifestyle off of it, and I can't do that. I'm level 1. If I stream, I stream to maybe 2 people. Maybe if I'm lucky, my little brother isn't streaming at the same time. Because everybody streams these days.
Oh, so many people streams, yeah.
So, I'm level 1. I cannot make a career out of it. If I get paid, it's over months of subscriptions, not 1 week. So, yeah, he can go and start sucking his own dick on his own time, but he needs to stop acting like he's level 1. He has a full-on fucking career for this.
He makes 6 figures per year, for God's sake. Yeah,
you don't count.
That is bizarre. He's got this fucking mental notion that he's level 1 when he makes 6 figures per year and has done for the past 10 years at
But
least.
he's also got a successful business.
Yeah.
No, I don't. No, I don't, Squid. So, Quid.
Yeah,
No, I don't.
yeah, there we go. But yeah, basically these kind of segments where Phil opens his mouth pretending to know better, it just kind of makes me want to. It makes me think of this particular sound clip.
God, it's like you just use words you hear randomly to try and sound smarter.
Pretty much
Exactly.
that, yeah.
It's
pretty much
what.
that.
But
It's
I'm gonna
like
hop off
a
here.
bunch of people have said. He should hold this podcast of his once a week so that he has some time to actually research things before he just opens his mouth and blurts out a bunch of stupid shit.
He hasn't got time to research. He's such a busy boy doing absolutely fuck all.
He
Anyway,
needs more time to pull in more money.
Jesus Christ, without the podcast, Phil Bell worse off by far, for sure. But,
The magic card is going very well, I have to say.
Yeah. Anyway, let's crack on with the bingo.
free
We are very close to a full house here. I just want to remind everyone, we are technically 5 away from a full house, but we have 2 free spaces so far. And we are on the way to a 3rd free space if we get more snorts, because we're 7 snorts away from a 2nd free space based on snorts alone. And we're at 6 burps as well, so maybe you can get a free space for that. So we're doing very well so far. This could be a full house today. And yeah.
Told you.
So it's not happened yet, Kula, Meester, so can the fuck didn't. Kula, thank you very much for hopping on to kind of give your own take. I appreciate it. It's good to get, you know, some intellectual, you know, discussion, but it's rather than hearing Phil just bloviate randomly, you know what I mean? It's good to get someone a bit more informed on the matter, telling us what it's really like for people in that industry. But yeah, cheers for that, Kula. So let's crack on with the bingo. And yeah, we're doing quite well. Idiot was confirmed to have been said, so we've got that ticked off. We're doing quite well.
Just given. We're just going to give you everything because we want to make people happy. Resident Evil, with Resident Evil 5 and 6 was going in the wrong direction. Immediately Capcom tapped the brakes. We got to have a better strategy than this. Things are fucking up. They turned Resident Evil back on its head. They redesigned the series to be survival horror again, which is what people wanted, but with modern graphics and a modern twist, and now the Resident Evil games are some of the best selling in the industry, correct? And then, on top of that, they remake their classics into modern masterpieces. So, you're winning on both ends. You're making great new games people want, and you're remastering classics that people love, and those games are great. Monster Hunter, wow, what a success story. A game that on paper, you'd be thinking, why would this be so popular? But then you play it, and you realize it's an amazing cooperative experience. Team up with your friends, take down giant monsters. Just extrapolate on this formula more and more with what people want. When you give people what they want, you will be successful. Why so many game companies don't understand this in the modern day, I just don't get it. Instead of what your management wants to make the bottom line dollar, make what the fucking consumer wants and you will be profitable and you won't have to worry about laying your employees off to make your numbers this quarter, right? Anyway, pretty awesome story. Good for Capcom. You want to know why I'm so happy about this? In the 1990s, Capcom could do no wrong. They had Street Fighter, they had Mega Man, they had Resident Evil, and they were at their height of popularity. But what ended up happening was in the 2000s and 2010s, they floundered. They redirected. They stopped making Street Fighter. They stopped making Mega Man. They tried to focus more on things such as Devil May Cry and things like that. And not to say that's bad, but the company definitely floundered. And around the early 2010s, basically everyone was panning them, saying, man, look at this. Street Fighter Cross Tekken, what a joke, what a horrible game. Street Fighter 5, what a joke. Resident Evil 5 and 6 was in the wrong direction, not what we wanted, terrible games, right?
Street Fighter
So
4 had come out just
for a while, it was like, God, how the mighty have fallen. And it was really sad that we were in a situation where it looked like Capcom had lost most of its prominence and wasn't going to be as popular as it once was. And then, boom, they literally had a giant resurgence of popularity because they...
Yeah, this is not shilling, by the way.
I'm
This is
going
not
1.5.
shilling. This is absolutely not shilling.
I'm going 1.5 speed.
Full throttle, 1.75.
Well, that's a bit too fast. We'll still try one bingo. 1.5 though.
listen. All they did was listen. Literally, all they had to do was put their ear to the ground and listen to what gamers wanted and gave them what they wanted. And now look at how well they're doing. They can give all their employees giant raises, right? I mean, that's insanely cool. Who wouldn't be happy about that, right? So, great news. And I'm very happy to hear this. I want them to have continued success. I hope they do. I love their games currently. You know, Street Fighter 6 is great. I love all the Resident Evil stuff they're coming out with. You know, the one that I don't do is Monster Hunter. I tried it. I thought it was all right. You guys didn't like it, so I never really went back to it. Maybe I will one day, right? But for the most part, Capcom's hitting it on all cylinders. They've recovered from their mistakes a decade ago, right? They're right back on the right track. They're doing well. I'm very happy for this. I can't wait to see what they come out with next. In fact, I think we're all waiting. Like, what's the next Resident Evil, right? We're all excited to see what they're going to do next. So I guess we're going to find out, right?
Throw shade on someone. Because he's going to throw shade. I feel confident.
Okay. Oh, that's a whole other animal. Karai says, if Capcom really cared about us, they give us a new MVC. The whole problem with that, there's two major problems.
If Capcom really cared about
us,
the
Marvel licensing is just a nightmare to do anything with. It's insanely expensive at this point, and they're not allowed to do exactly what they want either when they get it. I mean, take a look at the mishmash mess that was Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, where they could only have certain characters and not others. Like, they had to remove certain X-Men characters, which didn't make any fucking sense. It was really stupid. See what I mean? So that's number one. Number two, the whole idea of the Versus engine, you know, it's basically outdated and played out at this point. Like, they would have to redesign that game from the ground up, and I think their efforts are better put towards Street Fighter 6 and maybe other similar style traditional fighters than a Versus game right now, because retooling Versus games, especially when they have so much competition, there's so many games now that play how MVC used to play, including Dragon Ball Fighters, that new one coming out from the people who make League of Legends, it has an insanely awful name, I forget what it's called. But they all play like Marvel, right? So you already have like too many games competing for that mantle. I think focusing on Street Fighter is the right move, because that's their brand, while anything that's a Versus game kind of feels samey when it comes to the gameplay elements. Anyway, all right, so cool, right? Good stuff, good news, and I enjoyed covering it for all of you. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, fuck.
That's what I got for you today. So I think it's time for shout-outs. On the YouTube side of things, we have one membership from GameDude171, who became a member this morning. Thank you so much, GameDude, for the membership. No super chats or anything else on that side so far today. So we'll move on to the tips, which we do have a bunch to shout out. Let's get to those right now. We start off with an overnight tip.
I'm going to assume this is a big one. I'm going to guess it's like Lisa Lou 50.
Received, I don't know if there's a name attached to this one. There is, The Big Dog. Ladies and gentlemen, I received overnight a $50 and 1 cent tip.
A $50 and
That's
1
not for
cent
that.
tip?
That doesn't count for this stream.
It does.
That was the last night.
So Phil's only got 50 buckaroos, which is his stream goal. By the way, remember, Phil's stream goal is $50. So that's the minimum he wants to have per stream. So he's already hit his fucking goal. So that should mean, in theory, that should mean that he shouldn't be begging anymore. True.
And I will count that for today's stream, because as I said, if you contribute overnight, I want to have that count for like a current stream. It worked, but my page froze up. That's weird. Can I refresh? The animation worked, but my page froze up. All right, I guess maybe
the best segment of the Level 1
so the Big Dog
that he publishes.
And the Big Dog has a big message that I want to read. But I think we'll start with Gunner Glasses.
This is so boring.
So, this person starts with a few things. I've been a fan. Oh, he says, happy early birthday. Well, yes, my birthday is in a little under a month now. And as you guys know, as I said, we're going to do a special event on my birthday marathon.
I forgot about that.
One thing we're definitely doing is updating the game schedule, so we know what's coming out for the rest of the year. We're going to probably have cake that my wife's going to make. We're probably going to order some food and do a feasting with Phil that day. Outside of that, I don't know what else we're doing. We could do a live react to like classic stuff, like a live retro react could be pretty neat for that day, I feel. And maybe do some gameplay too. We'll have to see if you want to see some Battlefront, some Tekken. We'll see what you're in the mood for, okay? Anyway, here we go. He says, happy early birthday. I've been a fan since the Street Fighter 4 days. Let's enter this. And please keep up the good work for another 15 years. We're actually close in age. I feel your pain sometimes. Getting old isn't fun, but it's also a blessing. 3 things if you have the time, okay? Number 1, I had your Super Bowl stream on. Those pizza bombs looked awesome. Do your wife and you have a recipe you're willing to share? She found it online. Like, literally, it's a recipe she just looked up online. I don't know if it was called pizza balls or pizza bombs. I think I called them pizza bombs, but I think they were called pizza balls online. Literally, all it is, you get biscuit dough. You know how you can get the rolls of biscuit dough that you bake in the oven? And in the biscuit dough, you put a chunk of mozzarella cheese, some of the turkey pepperonis, and then I think what you do is you form it and you paint it with butter, and you put seasoning on top, like Italian seasoning. So we have like a mix of oregano and other things you put on top, and then that's it. You bake it in the oven, and you just dip it in marinara sauce, and it's like a little bite of pizza in your hand, okay? Okay, number 2, the second thing he's bringing up, it's drama, detractor drama. And here's the deal. I don't bring up detractor drama on my streams. I don't even give it the time of day. There's absolutely no point in it. Here's what I'm going to say, because basically what he's saying is he's annoyed by this detractor drama, and he wishes that I could address it and end it. It's this simple. None of it matters. All you have to know is the stuff that they say about me, if you take it, it's all out of context of anything that I say or do on the internet. Regardless of what they say, even if it's true or not what they're saying about me, okay? No matter what it is, it doesn't matter. If you're just here on my stream and you enjoy the stream, right? We're having a good podcast today, some good conversation. I'm giving you some news. We're having a good back and forth with the chat. Everything's good, right? So who cares about the tractor drama, right? What does that have to do with what we're doing today? Nothing. Zero. And it never does. Anyone who's just on my streams, if you just didn't pay attention to their horseshit that they create every day, because that's all it is, they're creating that situation so they'll get views and attention. If you just ignore it and you just hang out with me, none of it affects anything, right? And that's my attitude, so I'm not even going to address what you said there because there's no point. That would be exactly what they want, giving attention to their own world of bullshit, and they don't deserve it, okay? So his third thing he says, lastly, you made the right decision not doing any documentaries, especially now that Mike Klum has been involved with EDP 445. You don't want your brand associated with someone like that. Your best bet would be in a small interview with a neutral party. Again, keep up the good work, and remember, and then it cuts off. I guess he didn't realize it was a character limit to the message, because it looked like he was going to give a final thought, and then... So here's the deal. I wish Mike Klum the best. I hope that he makes great documentaries moving forward. But I agree with you. I can't be associated with a guy who's essentially a known pedophile, right? Like, I can't. That's...
But you...
How would you be?
But it does...
How the fuck would DSP be associated with EDP 445? He doesn't have to talk to him. He doesn't have to work with him, ever. What? Just because Mike Klum is working with EDP 445, it doesn't associate Phil with him to... very much. At all. I don't get it.
I have one thing to say about that. Phil says he can't be associated with a known pedophile. Derek? Anyone?
Derek.
Derek?
Yeah, oh yeah, that. But also the fact that I don't think Mike Klum would have been working with EDP 445 if he'd been working with DSP before.
Well, naturally, that was his first plan. That was what he wanted beforehand before Phil pulled the plug on that. So, yeah, but I'll just rewind that so people hear the full context. But yeah, I mean, this feels like hypocrisy from Phil here, for sure. But let's hear the full rant and the full explanation.
Screenshot!
No.
Get a fucking screenshot quick.
No.
I don't have one with the glasses on.
Hold on. First of all, D-Dog sent me... D-Dog has shown me how far behind we are. We are this far behind.
Oh, fuck no.
This is how far behind
Got
we
the
are.
wig. What's he playing today again?
Final Fantasy. You don't guess that with the wig? I thought you'd have guessed that with the wig.
I thought he would just wear it automatically no matter
No, this is a very special wig. This wig is reserved for Final Fantasy.
Oh, so it's like the Sonic hat?
Kinda, yeah.
Right.
Jesus
the Sonic hat?
You want this screenshot?
Yes. Yes.
I say, hang on, give me a second. It's not just the glasses, it's a fucking smug face it comes with.
Oh yeah.
Hold on a second, here we go. And there we go, fantastic stuff, and yeet that towards my members in the member Discord. And there we go, my members can do whatever they want with that particular image, fantastic stuff indeed. Right, okay, let's get on with the bingo.
So here's the deal. I wish Mike Klum the best. I hope that he makes great documentaries moving forward. But I agree with you. I can't be associated with a guy who's essentially a known pedophile, right? Like, I can't. Imagine if I was in the middle of working on this thing and we started filming, and then word gets out, oh, this is the same guy making a documentary about that guy who's accused of pedophilia, right? And it's like, well, then you're never going to live that stigma down, correct? It'll be you're in cahoots with the guy who's doing a documentary with this guy who's accused as a pedophile and giving him a venue, essentially, which he doesn't deserve. And it's like, yeah. So, man, I'll tell you, I dodged that bullet. I did. Even if our documentary was going to be great, the only thing you would have heard is, wow, DSP, he's that guy having a documentary made by the same guy about that documentary about a pedophile, right? And it's like, wait, what? How did you make that drama? Why am I even in the same sentence? Like, what are you talking about, right? So I'm glad, honestly, that I decided the way I did, and I'm very happy to have all of your feedback on that to make that decision, because I think it would have been awful, and I think I really did the right thing. For once in my life, I did the right thing. Wow. At least I call it once. At least once, right? Okay. Continuing on. I received a $5 tip. Let's see here. Oh, really? I didn't even know this. Okay, listen to this. James tipped me $5. Hold on. Shit.
Hurry the fuck up. What are you doing?
I didn't even know this. So James just tipped me $5, and he says, I'm a few days late on this, but I'm following up on the conversation about Rooster Teeth shutting down a few days ago. I enjoyed hearing about your perspective on the company's history from your limited knowledge of it and their role in internet content creation. And you mentioned that it may be fun to do a long-form react to a documentary about Rooster Teeth's origins and learn more about them if it was well made. I agree. I did research. I found a 2-hour documentary by June the King. I literally did not know June the King had done a documentary on Rooster Teeth.
God,
so I figured it would be high quality. I give it a watch. As a Rooster Teeth fan, I can say it's very comprehensive. It hits most of the major notes of importance from 21 years in a very entertaining and fast-paced way. And I think your community would love seeing something like that after a long break from long-form react. Could be some nice variety amidst all the RPGs right now, especially when it's topical and relevant. All right, well, it's something to think about. I mean, right now, I'm going to be honest. No, I can't do it right now. Right now, I have to keep going with what we're doing in these games. But maybe when we got a break, you know what I mean, a break in the action, then I can take a day away to do something like that. I did not know that June had done one on Rooster Teeth. You know, I had taken a break from basically doing any kind of React stuff for almost a year now, so I wasn't following any of that stuff. Okay, continuing on. I received a $20 tip. Happy Friday, DSP. I'm really enjoying Rebirth myself. I'm glad you're having fun with it too. I'm not sure who this is from. There's no name attached to it, but thank you so much for a $20 tip from the anonymous tipper. Yeah.
I will not play the whale call button. 20 seems barely... Nah, it needs to be 25 and higher.
If he starts talking about Baldur's Gate 3, then play the thing. It's unlikely, but maybe.
No, $25 and higher is the whale call button.
Yeah, I'm loving Rebirth. Like I said, definitely right now my front runner for a Game of the Year contender. You know, we got a lot of games coming out between now and the end of the year, but this is the first one that really feels like a big one, a great one, right? Okay. I received a $10 tip from Rocky. Happy Friday, hype for more Rebirth. Now, wait a minute. That sounds just like the firmware tip. Do you think it's just Rocky on both? Maybe it was. But it's weird that he would have done 2 tips like that. Anyway, thank you, Rocky, for the $10 tip. That one I know is you. Okay. And then we got a $5 tip. Really? Should be a fun gameplay stream today. There's going to be a couple pleasant gameplay surprises coming your way. Keep a lookout. All right. What I want to do, I think, we were already in the midst of exploring the area around Junin, but I think people had recommended that I go to Lower Junin, because that's kind of before the story elements, but you can unlock a bunch of side quests. And I'm thinking maybe we should do that. That way we can do the side quests in the region while we're also exploring the region. So we'll probably do that today. And then maybe the next time we play, we'll focus on story advancement. Cool. Huff Puff tipped $1, says, why are my messages not showing up in chat and you didn't shout out my membership? I don't see your membership at all. Did you click on the message that says you became a member? If you're not showing up in chat, I can only assume that you just subscribed. We have a 24-hour sub-only mode, meaning when you subscribe to the channel, you got 24 hours, then you can talk. And the reason we have that, sadly, I know it sucks. I don't want to have that. We need that, sadly, to stop botting. Before I did that, we had people coming in here with dozens of bots, spamming the chat with racist, sexist, doxing, and other messages. And the only way we could stop it was to have that sub-mode. Because now if they try it, we just ban a few accounts, so they have to wait another day to try it again. You see? So, we have to have it. If you are a newcomer and you just became a member, first of all, if you become a member, the message doesn't pop. You should have a thing that says, hey, click here to celebrate your membership. And if you click that, then the message should pop up. On the chat and on the stream, by the way. But as we're talking, yeah, you do have to wait 24 hours, and I apologize for that.
Zero
since you
value.
But thank you, Huff Puff, for $1 tip. I appreciate that. Okay. She's $1 tip. 5 in a row. That's concerning. From the big dog. He says, I didn't know there was a character limit. The part that cut off, I wanted to say, remember the 80-20 rule of business. 80% of unhappy customers complain, but only 20% of happy customers leave a good review.
Oh, yeah, it's Ryan.
Stay blessed. Ignore your haters. You do have good fans out here. Thank you. You know what? That's really, really important. That is true. Out of all the people who like something, almost none of them will ever speak up. It's very true. You'll always see the negative rating. You'll never see the positive, right? The truth is, despite the fact that there's so many people out there who are negative about me, I would not be here today, successful, keeping on, if it weren't for people who liked me and supported me and enjoyed the content, right? It's just that a lot of them is a silent group who just don't want to be wrapped up in the negativity, so they silently watch and enjoy it, and every once in a while support, and that's why I'm still here. So thank you so much, Big Dog. I really appreciate that.
Ryan, marry him.
Okay.
You'd be so good together. Like, you know exactly how to make him happy.
All right, continuing on, because I don't think we're done yet. Excuse me. I received a $25 tip this morning. All right. Okay, so 1 Minute Man with a $25 tip. So let's play the animation. Let's add this to the leaderboard. And you know what that means, right? You guys know what this means, correct?
Oh, God.
Are you aware of what this means?
Put the fucking wig on.
Wait, was that correct?
Get me at least one screenshot of the wig.
What was it, 92? 92 plus 25 is what?
Oh,
it's 117, right? Yeah, I don't know why I'm having a brain fart. I don't know why I didn't think that was right. Yeah, that's correct.
It's 117. Look at all this money I got. So,
thank you. You know what that means, folks? That means that for today's Final Fantasy VII stream, for the first time in a week, we will see the return of the Cloud Strife wig. Yeah, right, that's what that is. I'm not going to put it on now only because we're about to adjourn the show soon, but I don't want to screw my hair up, but I will put it on for the entirety of the Final Fantasy stream, okay? We're having it today. The wig returns. Cool.
Motherfucker.
Truth is, I don't want to put it on. I have to take it off and put it on again. You know, I gotta have to
nice, slightly higher res picture of you in the wig.
Stay on. Okay, so 1 Minute Man says, hi Phil, I'm glad you finally found Grind Gold. Grind Gold? Grind Gold doesn't ring a bell. Unless you're talking about gold. Oh,
shut the fuck up!
You rap
shut up,
bitch! Throat slaying motherfucker! Boss. Oh, gold grind.
Shut up, bitch!
Wait, shut the fuck up on again.
Fuck you, Phil.
Anyway, he says you don't need to mention that name ever again. I will never mention the name Grind Gold ever again. Gold Grind, however, is another matter. But be looking on the lookout for more short guys that are dressed in red. Oh, really? So are you saying there'll be more of them? Perhaps maybe there'll be doppelgangers trying to look like him in town, right? Interesting. All right, we'll have to keep that in mind as we continue on in Baldur's Gate 3 tomorrow. And I will say this, at least for the content that we have done in the part of Baldur's Gate 3 that we're in, I've actually really liked it. I like the missions that we're coming across in the town, in the actual, Baldur's Gate area. I think that they're well written. I think that this murder mystery was really neat. I liked how it was done, and I'm looking forward to more. I guess now we're going to be doing this wizard who's trying to hunt Night Song or Dame Aelin or whatever her name is. We're going to figure out why he's doing that. So I think that's what's
Boring.
next. And hopefully that's good too. But anyway, good stuff there. Yes, the villain, we had a whole segment about that earlier. Yes, he's just catching the show now.
It's not a couple more times, Phil.
Okay, hold on. Before we get to, we have another tip, but I want to do YouTube contributions. We have No Tango Dinero, who did a super chat and says, positive vibes, guys, only please, and thanks. Positive vibes all around, sound good for me. And then Darth Fig did a $5 super chat. It's funny how I dreaded cutscenes in Final Fantasy 16. In this game, I look forward to them. Yeah, I know. No, I mean, you want a textbook case of how to do something wrong and then have to do it right. Final Fantasy 16 misstep 5, 7, 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 times. This game, everything is done right so far. The pacing, the cutscenes, the combat, the visuals, the music. Like, I'm not bored at all. Every part of Final Fantasy 7 is entertaining right now. I'm never sitting around, man, this is boring, grinding filler content with shit. I'm actually having a good time with all of it, so I'm very happy to play more of it today with all of you. Okay, and then I received a $5 tip from Gold Grind. Oh, excuse me. No, not Gold Grind. I got distracted. From Rocky. He says, those were both me, laughing out loud. It crashed after the first tip. I didn't know if it went through for the third time. Happy Friday. Thank you, Rocky. Triple tipper today.
Oh my god, can you imagine? Phil must love the deadheads like that. I don't even understand if they've given money to them yet. Imagine being a denthead where you think to yourself, did that money go through? I better repeat the process several times just in case I didn't go through the first time. That is Phil's favourite kind of dumbass fan.
Imagine if Phil realized that he could use that to just farm tips from the guy.
It does. Like, the guy's tip cut off. Remember the guy tipped overnight, the big dog? He's like, I guess a tip cut off. Or the guy tipped again today to finish off his tip because I didn't realise that PayPal got off a tip. So yeah, you have to contribute a second time. Yeah, you have to contribute multiple times.
Rocky would just keep tipping him. And he'd be filthy rich by the end of the day.
That's crazy.
It's a $5 tip from Rocky. Thank you so much. Triple tipper.
Edging, not tipping.
Very good. Rocky talks only in tips. I guess so. Okay.
122 or 100.
Cool. All right, guys. We have a little bit of extra time, but not a lot. So if you want to tag me in chat and have a little bit of discussion about something, let's do it for the next 10 minutes or so before we adjourn the show. Then I'll take a break to use the restroom, and then we'll jump into Final Fantasy VII. Wig on. Korea says, Final Fantasy 15, now we were talking about 16. Final Fantasy 15 took 100 steps backwards while the remake took 100 steps forward. If you're saying 16, I agree with you. 15, I feel like 15 was a good game that just wasn't done. When you play 15 for the first time, you realize that there's like chunks missing. You're like, what happened here? Why is the pacing so off? Why are we in a totally different area playing it in a different way that the rest of the game didn't play like? What happened here? It's sad because there's moments that are super duper good, and then other moments that are like, on Earth. With 16, that whole game is a misstep. The plot being more Game of Thrones-esque with sex and violence is stupid. It doesn't fit the Final Fantasy.
That's why he doesn't like it.
Kind of feel or vibe at all. The pacing is awful. You'll have entire lengths of story that are super exciting and fun, and they come to a jarring halt as the game forces you to do stupid fetch quests and repetitive garbage missions for hours on end just for no reason, and it kills the movement of the game. Likely it's just to pad the length of the game because the game's actually quite short without that. The combat's an absolute joke. Seriously, it's just a joke. There's nothing to that combat.
Yes.
And people are like, oh, it's so complex, but if you really try, the point is you don't have to try. When you can pick the game, you go, okay, wind attacks, wind attack, wind attack, wind attack, wind attack. Change to another element. Fire attack, fire attack, fire attack. Change to another element. Ice. Use an ultimate, use an ultimate, use an ultimate. Transform. Mash buttons, mash buttons, mash buttons, mash buttons, mash buttons, mash buttons, mash buttons. Oh, now my elements recharge. Wind attack, wind attack, wind attack, wind. That's the whole game. You don't have to do anything. You're pressing buttons with no timing. You're just a button masher. Every once in a while, you have to dodge. Like literally once every 10 seconds, maybe you do one dodge, and it's so easy to play. I tell you, all it is, it's Kingdom Hearts 3 with a better graphical facelift and a boring plot. That's Final Fantasy 16. It's a huge disappointment. For those of us who love the series since we were growing up, to play a game like that and be like, this is what they did with the numbered entry, they fucked it up. Then you play Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, you're like, why wasn't this like Final Fantasy 16, right? Like this game is doing everything right that you would want, and it's hitting on all cylinders, except for the weird-looking Moogles. That, I have to agree, I'm very upset. The Moogles upset me in Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. I don't know what they were thinking. But outside of the weird-looking Moogles, everything else is amazing. So, holy crap, right?
Come on.
Eternal Napalm says, I agree. Sex, violence, heavy drama, it fits a Song of Ice and Fire in the first law, but not Final Fantasy. Here's the thing. I'm not saying you can't just have some of those themes in there, but you could tell the entire vibe of the game was ripping off Game of Thrones. They were totally going for that. And it was 10 years too late. Game of Thrones hasn't been prominent for a very long time. If you're going to rip someone off, at least rip them off when it makes sense, right? Mark says it's early Saturday morning for where he is in Australia, and his neighborhood rooster is making noise. How was my day off? It was good. Had a whole segment about it earlier. Rewind the stream to hear that. Carlton Jr. says, I feel like you give 15 too much leeway. It was an incomplete game. It's so bad. I feel like 16 is better by default because of that, even though I don't like it. Can't give it a pass. I disagree. I'd rather have an incomplete masterpiece that fails because it's incomplete than a complete game that just sucks. right? Would you rather have a game that has like half the levels are really good and the other half are terrible and it doesn't make sense because the game's not finished versus, wow, every time I play this game, I'm bored to tears. That's Final Fantasy 16 in a nutshell. I'm just bored 90% of the time I play it, and then 10% of the time something cool happens. I'm like, why wasn't this the whole game? So I will disagree with you there. Prisoner says, did you see the Dragon's Dogma 2 creator? We already talked about it. You're late to the show.
Oh.
I see the dollar tip.
The sex toy
From Sarah.
thing.
Can you try brushing and styling the wig before you put it on? It looked good in that wig with a little bit of styling. What are you talking about? Brushing and styling. Who do you think you're talking to? This is not metrosexual Phil gaming. This is DSP gaming. I mean, do you think I own hairspray? Do you think I have a stylist's brush and comb set? Like, what are you talking about, man?
You have the money for it.
Wow. No, I don't have that. Sorry. Carlton Jr. says, I don't know, 15 had a whole 2-hour detour for a cup of noodles and a boys road trip. I know.
Yeah, it's basically
I know it did.
grooming.
But I'm telling you, some of the stuff in the game is so epic, right? The optional dungeon with the puzzles and the fun bosses and stuff. The giant Animantoids fight, right? The major plot.
The word boss has been ruined to forever. The fun bosses. I mean, anytime I hear Phil say boss.
Boss.
It's just without fail. Anytime I hear him say boss.
This is just so boring.
Boss,
dude, I want to fail,
boss.
but I want to see if the magic works.
Bloody
Hey,
hell,
you
man.
cut me off.
I'm sorry, that was me. That was Phil saying boss.
Boss.
My bad. Jesus, man. We are one away from a full house. We are one away from a full house, guys. Now, other ways we can get a full house. Either Phil does one of these things on the square, right? Either Phil says it does one of these things. Or we get another free space. We are 3 burps away from a free space. And if we hit 200 likes, that's a free space as well. And then the game over.
Plot
How many
points were
likes
actually
are we
good,
at?
right? Some of the cool optional fights and stuff that you do. Some of the stuff was just neat. It was really good. The graphics for the time were groundbreaking, right? And a lot of the open world stuff was fun. But the problem was it wasn't done. You could tell when you play it. This game's not finished. The pacing. How does the pacing get screwed up halfway through, and all of a sudden there's a time lapse, and now everything's different, and the gameplay completely changes? Like, what the fuck just happened? Right? Like, where's the middle? The middle of the game got cut out. There's a whole town that's not rendered. Remember the town that's not rendered? It just has like big empty black spots. It's like, what the fuck is this? Oh, well, in the lore of the game. No. You didn't finish it. The town's not done. And then you made an excuse. You wrote lore to pick an excuse of why it looks like that. No, you just didn't finish making it. Then you put it in the game. Am I supposed to notice? Eternal Napalm, 33 months as a member. Thank you so much. He says actually many more than that. That is true, because of course Eternal Napalm's been around for a very, very long time. It's just the 33 months here on YouTube, right? Actually, some people should now be coming up on their 3-year anniversaries. I believe it's May when people will hit their 3-year anniversary. So some people will actually be earning their coveted highest tier diamond
And they didn't
crowns.
get a honeymoon.
That's right. I don't know if you guys have seen them. They were actually rare over on Twitch, because on Twitch I don't think I was even there for 4 years, right? Like I started with the partner program there. Was it late? It was either late 2016 or early 2017. Oh wow. Some people had earned their diamond crowns and then I left Twitch. So people had the diamond crowns and then I left. So people are finally gonna have diamond crowns back for the first time. Like for only a couple months they had them on Twitch. People actually earn them back now here on YouTube. But the thing is, YouTube did add a 4th tier now for a 4-year membership. So we have to think of something new for next year, unless we just recolor the crowns again. I guess we could do that. Maybe do a different style of crown. I'm not sure. We'll have to think about it.
There's only one good type of crown. There is only one good type of crown.
Fucking inflatable fucking crown.
It is the best crown by far.
Yeah, pretty cool. All right, Nightman, thank you. 11 months as a member. It's almost a year already. Yeah, thank you, Nightman.
Wow, they legit.
All right, so guys,
see
any
this
last minute
as some
questions or
kind of-
concerns? Please tag me in the chat. Anything you want to chat about? I'm done with the shout outs for now, which is good. And we're gonna get. I'm gonna take a quick break to use the restroom before we begin with Final Fantasy VII today. Yes, Battlefront Remake, Rise of the Ronin are the 2 games I'm honing in on as new stuff for this month. I'm looking at Alone in the Dark as well. I just don't know if I want to do it because we don't know enough about it yet. We'll have to keep an eye on that one too. Yes, Baldur's Gate 3. We are currently at 108 hours and continuing. It's not done yet. We're not even. Again, we're in the midst of these plots, so we're not done yet.
Oh my.
Have I ever played Stalker before? I played one of the Stalker games. Don't ask me which one because I don't know. But I played it during a Halloween marathon years ago on PC, and I hated it. I thought that the game was boring, and the controls were incredibly clunky, and it was so hard to do anything, and I just hated it. I did not enjoy the experience, and I never went back. Thoughts on Chrono Cross? I never played it. I don't have thoughts. People have told me it is a sequel to Chrono Trigger, but not really. It's not like there's characters that carry over that you play, but that the characters do have, like, plot continuations and resolutions. And people have said maybe I should play it, but I don't know. Darth Fig with a $5 super chat. Final Fantasy 16, the game where you can use a fire spell on a fire-breathing dragon and it does the same damage as you did a water spell. Also, no status ailments. Oh, the game, I'm telling you, the game is... It's like... Okay. Final Fantasy 16 is what happens when you try to take something that is culturally significant and make it not culturally significant because you want it to appeal to more people. It would be like taking Lord of the Rings out of the genre that it is
Then
and trying to make it a
what is
mainstream
cultural
story for people
significance,
today that has no
idiots,
fantasy
if
elements
not
with an
appealing
entry
to a
level
lot
of
of
understanding,
people?
right?
I
Like,
don't
if you just
get
watch
it.
Lord of the Rings at first, it could be a little confusing because you don't understand the realm of fantasy. But that doesn't mean that it's bad.
Well,
right?
how?
Like Final Fantasy has tropes that are good.
How?
You've got your chocobos, your moogles, your magic or magicite or materia or whatever you want to call it. You've got your combat that has various elements, right? You got things that build up meters that you can then use, like ultimate attacks. You got things. There's so many things in Final Fantasy that are synonymous with it. That you can say these are things that have become a part of pop culture. We know them as Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 16 said, how do we just undo all of that? How do we just undo all of the things that people like and just make a new game? And we'll say it's Final Fantasy, right? But it won't be. It'll be everything but what you want out of Final Fantasy. But you'll just have to accept it because now we are in charge of where Final Fantasy's going, right? And it ended up sucking. Like I said, that game, if it wasn't called Final Fantasy 16, if it was called like, you know, Kingdom Battle, Eidolon Combat, you know, if it had a different name, then you'd be like, oh, okay, it's pretty interesting. It's a different take on RPG, but it's not Final Fantasy. There's nothing in that game that's Final Fantasy. They homogenized it. It's like slapping the name Final Fantasy on something just to sell it. Remember that movie, The Spirits Within, from the early 2000s? Everyone rushed to theaters to see it because they said, oh, it's Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within. And you watch it like, this is not Final Fantasy at all. Why the fuck did they call it that? And it bombed, right? So this is the problem in the modern day. You gotta be careful. What they're doing is they're using branding just to sell shit. And that's really stupid. Sarah says lots of people like the new direction it went in. Well, then how do you explain that it didn't sell nearly as well as they wanted? How do you explain the fact that it basically got completely panned at the Game Awards and no one talked about it besides the crazy fanboys, right? There were people who were convinced Final Fantasy 16 was Game of the Year.
It got like a
parallel dimension you live in. You gotta stop living in your bubble of I only pay attention to people who like what I like because the game was not well received overall. Most people in Final Fantasy didn't like it. It was people who aren't hardcore Final Fantasy fans who ended up really liking it, but it has nothing to do with Final Fantasy. There's nothing wrong with liking the game. The problem is liking the game as a Final Fantasy game. That's the difference. Like the game, that's fine, but not at the expense of me losing out on a franchise I've been a lifelong fan on because you changed it to be something different that it's not, right?
Not at the expense
Final
of
Fantasy VII
me,
Rebirth is exactly where this franchise needs to go, and I hope they learn from how good this game is doing and make more games like this in the Final Fantasy universe.
It's the
Not,
remake,
oh, Final Fantasy 17 is a fucking play school Final Fantasy, which is exactly what 16 is. It's like button masher, but yet it has mature themes. You made the game the easiest ever to play, and then you give it mature themes. That
how long has he been ranting
no
about
kids should be
Final
playing that game because of the sex and violence. So what were they thinking? It doesn't make any fucking sense at all. It's empty-headedness of game design.
He hates
the guy,
this
I'm sorry,
game,
you love that guy,
dude.
Yoshi P or whatever. That was the worst game design ever. The worst possible choices you could have had for the franchise. Let's see here.
Say the word.
I received a $3 tip.
word.
From Huff Puff. I've been subscribed to the channel for a couple of months. This is the first time I'm supporting. Maybe I'm banned. I don't know why my chat messages aren't showing. I can't use your member-only emotes. I don't know why the membership isn't showing either. I don't know. What I would say at this point, it does sound like something's happened. If you email me the URL to your YouTube page, I can look at it later and try to see if you've been banned and unbanned you. I mean, first time I'm talking to you, so I have no clue why that would have happened. I can't, you know, sometimes it happens. I don't know. Hopefully it's not a YouTube shadow ban. A YouTube shadow ban means for some reason your account was IP banned and your account won't show up anywhere. Like there's nothing I can even do about it. So I hope that's not the case. But if you send me the URL, I'll look at it later. Okay? And thank you for the tip. Okay, are we good? Anything last minute? Are we good now? Covered a lot. We had a lot to talk. Every time I come back from break, we have a long podcast, right? Yeah, the weirdest part about getting your account IP banned on YouTube is I don't think you even get told. I think it just happens, and then you just can't talk anywhere. You don't know it. Like you think you can be seen, and you get nothing. You can't talk. You can't do nothing. And you like Kirk. Like someone brought up Kirk. He's like, that's what happened to his account. He tried to get unbanned. I was like, he's not even banned. He just doesn't show up anywhere. He's just completely gone. Shadow realmed. Okay, I think it's time to end the show. All right, great stuff, guys. Great conversation. I hope that you guys enjoyed the Level 1 podcast today. I know I did. I thank you all for being a great audience. Thank you, obviously, for your support already. We're just starting with insane amounts of support this week. And great stuff. Thank you all. Let's adjourn and get ready for Final Fantasy VII. Tomorrow, hopefully I have updates on this game and, of course...
I think we've got it. I think it was a double burp. I think that was a double burp. Let me confirm that.
Count it as a double burp, fuck it.
I thank you all for being a great audience. Thank you, obviously, for your support already. We're just starting with insane amounts of support this week. And great stuff. Thank you all. Let's adjourn and get...
Yeah, as a double burp. It's over. We're over. Right at the end of the podcast. That's it. Yeah, we made it. We made it to the very end,
It was magic.
Full House, confirmed.
Burger.
There we go.
Full House? Oh boy. How exciting. Anyway.
So yeah, now what does that mean? It means we can update the thing. Hold on a second. We need to update this. So the prize fund is now 50 buckaroos. There we go. We have our second Full House in a month. Well, technically it's our first one, but I rolled over the previous unclaimed prize. So there we go. We have a Full House, we have a bingo, fantastic stuff. Let's go to live DSP and see how he's doing. He's $126 and he's playing that boring card game. Who fucking cares?
Dude, it's all filler. It's all filler. He's all doing it for filler. He doesn't do any of the side content for anything other than filler. And he calls some of it meaningful and some of it not meaningful. For some reason.
The thing is, like, I don't usually do... Well, Fridays I do marbles, but not to sell... Not for victories. Right, we'll do marbles, but nobody's going to win a prize for these marbles unless it's, you know, well... We're going to try an impossible tracks, and if someone completes an impossible track, we can see. But yeah, how bingo works these days is that we try and go through the whole month and try and build up the prize fund for as much as possible. And at the end of the month, we'll do a marbles race, and somebody can win the entire prize fund. But this particular marbles race is just a little Friday fun game of marbles, and we're going to try and complete some impossible tracks. So there we go. So yeah, guys, give me a few minutes. I'll be right back. And yeah, I will get the marbles set up, and we can have a wee game of marbles and see if anyone can complete some of these impossible tracks. So yeah, be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Is that dastard off or? You muted, mate?
Oh, hold on, sorry, I didn't realise I was on mute. I was not muted yet, sorry. I forgot to unmute myself on stream, my bad. So there we go, I was just trying to explain very quickly here. We're going to use Arthur's maps here. We're back and we're going to try and complete one of these impossible courses made by the fiendishly creative Arthur UK. There's 159 names, and that is because I'm using the new community post. The one I made at the start of the month. So there we go. Who's popping is asking how can I get my name added? I mean, this is why I tell people to start.
Is that his name?
Yeah, who's popping's asking how can I get my name added? It's a community post linked in the description of this live stream. And if your name's not on that community post, then your name won't be a marble. Simple as that. So you won't get added in time for this one, but don't worry because most people don't win these courses anyway. These are like impossible ones. Let's try this first one. Orney Marble Festival. Well, let's see what this one's like. So we have all our marbles here. Hello. This is a course here. Oh, there's a lot of lasers. There's a lot of lasers. This one looks quite... Oh, this one looks quite difficult. Let's just go. Marble Fest. I guess there's some sort of competition before, and Arthur made something for Marble Fest called, well, this. Jasper's Angels is winning right now, and they managed to survive. Let's keep up with the first two marbles. We have Midgard Metals and Jasper's Angels. I wasn't sure if that was a good thing or not to fall down there, but it seemed like it was a good thing. Oh, I mean, I'm kind of curious to see where's it going to go wrong. Where does it become impossible? It might be right there. Oh no, Jasper's Angels has also perished, but Poland 3000 has taken full advantage, and they are now the ones that are ahead. Of course, these courses are notorious for killing everyone usually. Oh, Poland 3000, they're barely surviving these lasers. Oh, and they're about to hit the trampoline. They fell short. I didn't even think that was possible. Can Dare Bear make it? Dare Bear falls short. But Utterly Insane and Ulf the Arbalist both make it. So the end is in sight over there, and we're very near at the end. But how do you get there? Well, I'm not sure what to expect here. Does this just drop you into this hole? I guess it does. There is so much more. I think that's just for show. That thing over there with the glasses. No, it's not just for show, it fires lasers. So Utterly Insane is ahead right now. Oh, the Arbalist overshot it. Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Brothers.
But Wobbly completed it. Wobbly was the last marble and Wobbly actually completed it. Wobbly 154. So much for that track being impossible. From 159 different marbles, Wobbly managed to complete it. Utterly managed to somehow jump it too far. Somehow, some way. But Wobbly was the last surviving marble and they managed to get across and land inside the bloody thing. Congratulations to them. And everyone else died, including me, including you as well, somewhere on this list. Everybody died. Let's check out the other races. Hold on, so go here, we've got community. Let's check out the second map that I picked out there. Orney Marble Festival. There's 159. There we go. So let's see what this one's like. Or is that the one we just played? No, that's the one we just played. I think we're on to this one now. Master. I think we're on this one now. Yeah, this one's definitely different. Looks a bit ominous. Oh, well, I'll wait to see what happens, I guess. Let's just crack on with it. Tommy and Chris Sizemore were the first two marbles to get ahead there. But very early days yet as they go around in a circle. And is that killing marbles? Getting sent in the air. And some people are falling to their doom. It looks like there's something here shocking the marbles. And some are getting sent in the air. But Chris Sizemore and Tommy are both ahead. Michael Hunt as well. And Crow Sus are up there. Oh, that might not be good. That might not be a good thing for Michael Hunt to go up there. They're falling way far behind compared to everyone else. So let's just speed up now and go up to the first place. A guy with long hair. So who's going to come out first here? Jim R6 is looking quite good on one side. They are the first one out. I guess we'll follow Jim. Oh, he might be falling to his doom. No, he just got away with it. Well, that's a pretty straightforward map. How's that a 99% fail map? Everyone's finishing that one. That me think it's an impossible map. Everyone's finishing, for God's sake. I'm willing to bet more people finish than don't finish. That's me thinking, oh, where's the death? Where's the death? Where's the destruction? Where's the absolute, carnage? And is not to be seen. So Jim R670 won that one, and not only that, we had 40, 50, 60, 70, 82 people completed it. So half the marbles completed that. I don't know, it's a bit of a strange one. We'll go to our last community map. Super Fallen Wormhole. Oh, maybe that's why I picked. So it's got a 56% elimination rate. That's map. Okay, that's just. Well, I get what I fucking deserve then. I picked the wrong one. No fucking wonder. See, Arthur does win. Arthur does make some fair maps sometimes. Arthur does indeed win some fair maps. Make some fair maps, and they're not all out to fucking destroy you. This one, however, is meant to fucking destroy you. He likes using the snow theme, doesn't he? We had this in the last map as well, this kind of snow theme background. All the marbles so far. Following each other, there's a massive laser light showboat, and yeah, a lot of destruction right there. Oh, yeah. Well, any marbles percent flying here? We'll catch up with Paul Flout, who's in first place. Lemon Marty right behind them. Oh, that's a bad bounce there for Paul Flout. Unlucky for them. Puddy has looks like they've gone into the lead. Oh, I recognise this. Oh, yeah. You got the threading needle and try and get across. Mr. E has come out on top there. This is a long bloody course. So you get out down here, all the way down to the bottom. We'll follow Mr. E, he's doing quite well. Dimmick's in second place, Dips is third, Egrets in fourth, Sick Monkey fifth. Puddy is back in sixth. Ah, I recognise that. The hole. And as you look at that, Dips and Egret have both made it as well as Sick Monkey. The three of them both managed to snipe it. But they couldn't get through in time. They were denied right at the last second as the pipe is turned, and it's going to send them to their doom. And that means nobody's going to win because they all got killed by that fucking pipe. Oh, tragic. Absolutely tragic. Yeah, the timing for that could not have been worse for him. That could not have been worse for him whatsoever. Ah, goodness me. Jesus, man. There's so much more of the course to go as well. Look at all that over there. Kind of tempted to try it one more time. I mean, one more time, just to try and see if we can see the rest of the course. And if we don't get to see the rest of the course, we'll just call it quits. Let's try that one more time. I'm going to follow Mr. E, since he done so well last time. Hey, it's me! Look at me in there. I'm somehow competitive and competing here. But yeah, we'll see what we can do here. And Mr. E has gone, so have I. A whole bunch of us got killed there. But Ever P is in the lead somehow. We'll follow Heather, shall we? We'll follow Heather and see if they can manage to stay alive. Yeah, no pressure, Heather, you know. But, you know, got sick, Heather, you had one job. You had one job, Heather. And as soon as I told you not to die, what did you fucking do? You went and fucking died. Sick. Hold up. Agent Proper's up there. And Agent Proper's died. We will follow Slivers now in first place. Actually, Jonathan J's in first place, so we should follow them. So here we go, the big massive drop. Can they make it down into the hole? They can. Slivers doesn't do it. Oh, the timing might be good. The timing might be good. That's the turn now, though. That timing was not fantastic, but they might be good. We're down to a final 8. Tommy's also made it, looks like. No, they haven't. And Jonathan J doesn't make it either. This is very bad. This is very, very bad because they're all here. And they're all about to die. And I think they're the last ones. And yeah. Damn. Damn, damn, and damn again. But there we go. I'm gonna bring an end to the marble stuff there if I can go. I was asking what was the completion rate for that map. That was a 99% elimination rate. That one was one of the challenging ones. So if we get out of that one. So yeah, that one was called Super Fallen Wormhole, and that one was a tough one for sure. We can try that again sometime for sure. But let's just get out of that, and of course we have our autos there. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? Because Wobbly won the bingo, won the marbles map, the very hard, challenging map. Because Wobbly won, I'm going to do something. Decision on the fly. You see, you see that current prize fund that says 50 buckaroos. I'm going to change that to 60 buckaroos. So Wobbly has increased the prize fund for everyone. For the future, there we go. Because they managed to complete an impossible track. A supposedly impossible 99% elimination track. Wobbly saw that and thought, easy, I'll win that. So because of that, we've increased the prize fund for the end of the month by another $10. Thanks to Wobbly managing to complete that course, that impossible challenge course. So anytime somebody completes these impossible challenge courses on a Friday, we're going to add $10 to the prize fund, so there we go. But guys, I'm going to wrap things up there. I do hope you all enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy your Saturday as well, whatever you end up doing. I should be back on Sunday for some more bingo antics. Hopefully I'll be feeling better by then. Meester, I think, had to duck out. He did warn me I might have to fucking peace out. So, it is what it is. But, you know, it's kind of him to join me for the bingo, regardless, you know what I mean? Coolimp as well came on for a spell, you know, and gave his expertise. So it's good to have that discussion, of course. Sunday, I might have special guests, I'm not entirely sure. D-Dog was thinking about joining, he might be able to, he might not be able to, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, we might be able to have D-Dog on Sunday, I'm not entirely sure, but if he can manage it, that's cool. I think he's going to try and drag a Vigo on as well, I don't know, but I've got no idea. But yeah, but D-Dog says he will, so there we go. But at the very least we'll have D-Dog join me on Sunday for some bingo antics, which for people in the UK will probably be an hour earlier because of DSP time zones and all that jazz, so there we go. But yeah guys, until then anyway guys, enjoy the rest of your Friday, enjoy your Saturday as well. Have a good one. I'm going to end how it always ends with putting Tori's PIG contributions, maybe the supremely talented Pixar animations. But yeah guys, cheers again for checking out the bingo. Thank you very much for keeping writing the card. Thank you for your contributions and everything else. It's very much appreciated. And yeah, until then guys, I'll catch you all later. Goodbye.
On September 14th, a pre-authorized payment of $16.51 from PayPal.
All right, Luna Mills has tipped me $1.30. It says, "I'm back. What's your favorite type of shower?" When you're showered in money. When you go outside and all of a sudden greenbacks start falling from the sky and you raise your face up, you're like, oh, you start dancing, you go, oh, money, money, yeah, yeah. All right, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but thank you for the first tip of the day. Money, money, yeah, yeah. Money, money, oh, money, money, yeah, yeah. Money, 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 yeah, yeah. Money, money, oh, money, money, yeah, yeah. These contributions are mandatory. Money, money, yeah, yeah. Money, money, oh, money, money, yeah, yeah. Money, 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 yeah, yeah. Money, money, oh, money, money, yeah, yeah. These contributions are mandatory. Show me the money. Free. Money, money, yeah, yeah. Money, money, oh, money, money, yeah, yeah. Money, 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 yeah, yeah. Money, money, oh, money, money, yeah, yeah. These contributions are mandatory. And it's gone, just gone like that.